All right, we are live. We are live. We have some very interesting stuff going on today. Microsoft just had this interesting partnership interesting renewal of partnership with OpenAI. And that is something that we are going to look into now. Let's see. A married man, this is so embarrassing. What do we have over here? How did he be so amazing constantly? Okay, so we need to mute this, I think. Who is Chalky the Bulls? Who the sloth? Yeah, we need to also start cleaning up this stuff. Okay, this person, I think I appreciate you, but you have been posting too many random stuff. All right. You have some interesting stuff here. You got ability to invest 200K in your company, accept your MIT offer. Accept your MIT offer, get invited to private Dropbox event where CEO Drew is in his presence. Strike a convo with Drew, pitch him your startup. Venmo him 1K months later with an update on your new startup, plus invite him to Angel. Secure 1K via super easy. Let me know if you have any questions. Hi, Drew. 2 years ago, you Venmoed me 200 for a domain. Since then, I've updated to storage jobs. Now, we are raising. Okay. And then Andrew Houston wires you 200K. Perfect. Amazing work. Let's go. No matter what we do, we'll likely lose this dispute even though we fulfill the services because of how credit cards work. We're at mercy of payment providers. This is why agents can't scale with credit cards. There's no way an agent can deal with these problems. The only option is instant verified payments, and my crypto will likely win for agentic payments. Mahavir. Who is Mahavir? Okay. OpenAI shows that investment banking's business model is being squeezed from both ends and why deal guys are ascendant. Top-down integration infrastructure, heavy tech companies are bringing M&A expertise in-house. OpenAI exactly. OpenAI cannot. Microsoft has a massive team of lawyers. They help with a lot of things. They have a massive team of lawyers. But when OpenAI has to figure out all these complexity, OpenAI cannot rely on Microsoft's lawyer team because they're going to work for Microsoft's favor and they're not going to be working from OpenAI's side. So what OpenAI can do is, again, hire their own in-house team. So basically what is happening is if you have power, you have to have your own in-house team because you want these lawyers to be incentivized to only think about you. You want these lawyers to be incentivized to think about the world only through your lens, which basically means that all these agencies are going to go away and only incentivized lawyers, in-house lawyers are going to take place. 1.5 trillion in deals without external advisors building institutional knowledge internally. This is the rise of the deal guy writ large. Bottom up efficiency. At the same time, he is automating away the junior banker product, comms, models, CIM's diligence notes all get crushed by AI. So lower middle market can punch above their weight with off-the-shelf tooling and 1 to 2 humans. The irony, of course, is that OpenAI both demonstrates its strategy, vertical integration, or advisory services that enables the disruption, commoditize the work. This is the barbell motion that's happened in so many industries already. This isn't unique to banking. Any service business that depends on a leverage model, junior labor, senior oversight. Interesting. Client billing should be worried. Even McKinsey, which is so often hired to do CY, is vulnerable. Professional services firm that don't keep up with will find themselves caught in the exact pincer. Wow, that's a French term for grating. Okay. Coming from Wall Street's grunt workers, or as AI can use to transform the entry level. Alright, OpenAI shunned advisors on $1.5 trillion of deals. Tapped a handful of in-house deal makers over external advisors and lawyers to design huge web of infrastructure agreements. I'm 40. I have wrinkles and gray hair, and I would have a walking stick to help me walk. I'm 40. I'm turning old. I just left work because I cannot manage going up and down hills. I know I will die soon. Whoa. Order office. Neo last night. Okay, I know this guy. Is this the cursor guy? Who's this guy? I think I know this guy. Alright, Neo the home robot.
My name is Bernd, and today we're launching Neo, our humanoid for the home.
Neo, the robot, man.
Let you live with it?
Yeah.
You're just not telling me? Well, what does it do?
Like my chores, I just leave and I come back and they're all done.
Are you kidding me?
No. the robot, Neo.
Let you live with it.
Yeah.
You just not telling me? Well, what does it do?
Like my chores, I just leave and I come back and they're all done.
Are you kidding me?
No.
So cool.
This all started a decade, working really hard on making what is Neo a reality. But to me personally,
That's either Swiss or Swedish.
this started when I was like 10 years old. I grew up reading these beautiful books and watching these beautiful sci-fi movies where the future was all about how we as humans,
And I think the pricing is over here. It takes more than I could have ever imagined to change the world just this short. The hardest things always look the simplest because you need an extreme amount of focus to pull it out. Witnessing such a blend of hardware and software is completely different. Sublime. I like that word. Alright, I'm gonna comment the same thing. Sublime. Let's go. Absolutely insane work. The great stagnation is over. Is it legend or a joke? Palo Alto Supremacy. What a lovely video. Finally my XPF is for sale. Huh? Living the Nvidia Loca. Okay. Bef.
we really focus on things that matter to us. You know, Rosie the robot would be ensuring family had time, or data would help humanity explore the galaxy. And I really hope that when you get your Neo now, we can help give you back some of that time. You can really spend that on what you feel is very meaningful to you.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and she's always gone to.
Oh my god, what is happening?
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and she's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away, wonder this time where she's gone. Wonder if she's gonna stay. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and this house just ain't no more. Anytime she goes away. And I know.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Neo is a humanoid companion designed to transform your life at home. It combines AI and advanced hardware to help with daily chores and bring intelligence into your everyday life. Neo was engineered from the ground up for safety. Its tendon-driven body is quiet and lightweight. Its low-energy motions make it uniquely safe for you and your home. But safe doesn't mean limited. Neo's hardware comes packed with features like human-level dexterity and a 55-pound carrying capacity so that it can handle any of your chores reliably. We also worked really hard to make Neo's design friendly and comfortable to be around. Each Neo comes with a machine-washable knit suit, a head, and shoes that you can customize to fit your style. As for using your Neo, we made the experience simple. Out of the box, the core of your experience is fully autonomous. The chores feature lets you schedule a time for your Neo to do all of your chores, so you can come back to a cleaner home every day. With the AI companion feature, you can talk to your Neo to get assistance with anything from a hard question to a household task. With Neo's autonomy, you can get access to all of its latest AI features.
It has some weird like shoulder stuff going. I think this needs to be fixed. Like, yeah, like this is tiny things to be fixed just for the aesthetics.
To get help with tasks on demand. And the Neo app lets you interact with your Neo from anywhere. But all you have to do to get started is turn on your Neo and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Neo. I'm here to help around the house. What's your name?
Meredith.
Nice to meet you, Harry. When you have a question or want something done, just let me know.
This is the one where people are saying like, oh my god, I got the first version. A little behind schedule, but it can work. Very excited for the future. The power of hard work and a little bit of base cost blessing. So awesome to live this life. Dinner preparation.
My name is
Oh, no.
We can make Neo a hard question.
Meet you, Harry.
Chores.
We built a chores feature to give you your time back. You give your Neo a list of chores, you schedule a time you want them done, so that you can focus on what matters to you while your Neo does the rest. You can schedule chores by either talking to your Neo or using the app. The way it works is you schedule a time that works best for you, and then you create a list of chores. Whether it's something more specific, like watering the plants on Tuesdays, or something more general, like tidying the house, your Neo will get it done at the scheduled time. If there are any chores that your Neo hasn't learned how to do autonomously, you can use Expert Mode to have an expert from 1X supervise the session and provide corrective intervention to help Neo complete any task. Or using the app. The way it works is you schedule a time that works best.
Love how they have the Porsche.
And then you create a list of chores. Whether it's something more specific, like watering the plants on Tuesdays, or something more general, like tidying the house, your Neo will get it done at the scheduled time. If there are any chores that your Neo hasn't learned how to do autonomously, you can use Expert Mode to have an expert from 1X supervise the session and provide corrective intervention to help Neo complete any task. Anytime you're away from home and you want to see what your Neo's up to, you can open the app and see directly from Neo's point of view.
Okay, really cool charging pod. Compa.
Find my glasses. Is this paprika? No, that's cayenne pepper. Also, your glasses are on your shirt. Could I use this in my chili? They're both featured chili peppers, and you could put cayenne in your chili, but it is much spicier. Neo is a speech-enabled AI companion made for any kind of conversation. Where other AI assistants are confined to your phone or computer, Neo lives with you in your physical space and has the ability to see, hear, and remember things about your surrounding environment to provide you with uniquely helpful assistance. For example, it can suggest what
VP of product and design, VP of AI. I feel like they have like this crazy team going on over here. Like very. Also, one beautiful thing that ChatGPT Atlas does over here is that it doesn't remove the video when I'm looking at my live stream, because sometimes I don't want to look at the screen. I kind of want to look at myself when I'm talking and I'm thinking about an idea, just so that I know that it is good.
to cook based on what you have in the fridge. Remember your progress while teaching you a new language, and even give you interior design advice. The gestures and the light rays express Neo's intentions. Its audio intelligence can also pick up on whether you are addressing it or someone else in the room to decide if it should respond or not. As you might expect from a home robot, talking to Neo with natural language is the primary user interface for all of Neo's functionality, including autonomy. Your Neo comes with Redwood AI, enabling you to do basic household tasks anonymously. Yeah, no, for sure. Okay, one sec. All right. Yeah. Hey, Neo, can you get the door, please? Neo's autonomy works by taking requests like, hey Neo, can you take this cup to the sink for me? And breaking it down into simple steps, such as walking to the person, grabbing the cup, and then walking the cup to the kitchen, and then putting it away. Neo's autonomy improves with diversity and the real-world experience. As Neo does more chores, you'll receive updates to your Redwood model that increase the complexity of tasks that Neo can handle, such as finding a piece of wallet or doing a full laundry cycle manually.
It's a beautiful house. It's a beautiful house. One day we'll have a house like this.
Eventually, Neo will become fully autonomous, capable of helping you with anything around the house.
The Neo you get today will only get better, and as we keep shipping features, it'll be more and more useful in your everyday life. Now, the journey there is not going to be perfect, and we're not going to pretend it will be. But as someone who lives with Neo every day, there is no experience quite as magic. So today, we're excited to invite you in on this journey. We believe that the future will be shaped not just by us, but by all of you who believe in this as deeply as we do. Now, if this is you, pre-order your Neo today at Morningstar.
Okay, I wanna message my friend Dar. Alright, we'll say alright, we just message our friend because we gotta congratulate our brothers. Nice work, Bex. Yeah, team on Grokipedia. Okay, so Grokipedia is over here now. So let's see. What are we gonna search? We're gonna search about what's the latest thing? Louvre Palace. Okay, and here how you see everything. Okay, I also heard that you can literally just say it's wrong. Okay, this is a interesting interface. So this is copy, this is ask Grok. Okay, right here. So you can ask Grok right here. Was architectural complex in central Paris, originally erected as a medieval fortress in 1190 by King Philip II to bolster the city's defenses against Norman incursions along the Seine River. Over 8 centuries, it evolved through successive royal additions, from a 14th century residence under Charles V to Renaissance transformations indicated by Francis I in the 16th century, classical expansions under Louis da. Okay, resulting in a cohesive ensemble blending Gothic. Okay, I'm just curious right now. What is the reaction of Wikipedia to Grokipedia? Let's see. Launched 27 October, AI generated alternative Wikipedia, stated aim, truthful alternative Wikipedia addressing perceived bias and propaganda. Many of its pages derive from or are near copies of Wikipedia pages with disclaimers that they are adapted under Creative Commons license. Media coverage points out issues like ideological factual inaccuracies, AI hallucination risk. They were still in the process of understanding how Grokipedia works. Third statement, Wikipedia has been the backbone of knowledge on the internet. Unlike newer projects, Wikipedia's strengths are clear. Transparent policies, rigorous volunteer oversight, and a strong culture of continuous improvement. Always will be human. They pointed out that even Grokipedia needs Wikipedia to exist, given that it adapts content from Wikipedia. The foundation emphasized their mission of free, volunteer-driven encyclopedia built by people from all backgrounds, not machine only. I think this is interesting that we are always looking for evolutions, and when you say that we are human only, that basically means you're coming from a specific human bias. You're coming from the bias of a specific human. So this is interesting. Like, AI gives you a more neutral ground, but also AI gives you hallucination. Humans give you the fact that, oh, it's human. So it's like you can relate to it more, but it also comes with a very specific, unique bias. So pros and cons both the sides. The foundation emphasized the mission of free The Wikipedia Foundation is essentially maintaining a measured, cautious chance, acknowledging Grokipedia exists, but emphasizing Wikipedia's model, open, volunteer, transparent, fundamentally different remains their focus. Full critique, rebuttal, yet beyond pointing the differences, likely because Grokipedia is so new and the full implications are still emerging. Raises questions for Wikipedia about neutrality, bias, the role of AI, knowledge creation, reuse of Wikipedia content, competitive threats in the encyclopedia space. For Wikipedia, it seems this may be both a challenge and affirmation of its value. Challenge because an alternative is getting launched to rival it. Affirmation because they emphasize human-created knowledge. Okay, interesting. So this is it. And let's say Transformer Public Museum during the French Revolution opened initially displaying royal collections seized from the nobility and church, and today houses approximately Okay, let's say it's wrong. This person was born in 1919 or 1995, supporting sources. Okay, interesting. It's not super fancy right now, but yeah. Q. French. Let's see, French language. Okay, very interesting. Phonology. What is phonology? Linguistic features. Phonology standard French as spoken and metropolitan French comprises approximately 37 phonemes, 16 17 vowels, 12 oral, 4 nasal, around 20 consonants, with distinctive features as nasal vowels and front rounded vowels that set it apart from many Indo-European languages. Contrast between oral and nasal vowels, nasalization arises from historical vowel plus nasal consonant sequences, resulting in phonemic, but standard usage preserves 4 distinct nasals. Okay, back on the parts. Consonant feature voiceless pairs, BB, TD, KG. Romance variety is a shift attributed to 17th century Parisian innovations that spread standard wide. orthograph, grammar, characterized by its inflectional nature inherited from Latin, systematic marking of grammatical categories such as gender, number, tense, mood, person through suffixes and auxiliary verbs, which relies heavily on word order and prepositions for meaning. French employs a rich system of agreements and conjugations to convey relationships between words. This structure allows for relatively flexible word order in certain contexts while maintaining clarity through morphological indicators. Assign one of two grammatical genders, masculine or feminine, regardless of natural gender or animacy, a feature that influences articles, adjectives, and pronouns, modifying the noun. Gender is not always predictable but follows probabilistic patterns. Nouns ending in E are feminine in approximately 75% of cases. Definite articles, pronouns, basic. Vulgar, Latin, spoken in Roman Gaul, Gallo-Romance base that underwent phonological morphological evolution. Early modern periods incorporate Italian loan words in arts and fashion, ballet, canapé, which, while 19th century globalization amplifying Anglicism in industry, weekend, media, fake news, media, and computing, email often respell courrier by regulators despite resistance. Courrier Académie Française, established in 1635, standardizes vocabulary through its dictionary. 9th edition, ongoing as of 2025, covering 100,000 entries, and advocates neologisme via derivation, EFI equivalents like informatiser or composition, télévision as télédiffusion to preserve lexical purity against perceived anglicizing erosion. New lexical terms emerge primarily through affixation productivity of suffixes like mon, mon, compounding, gratte-ciel for skyscraper, and semantic extension, while with regional varieties adding substrate terms. Quebec French incorporates indigenous words like mousse from Algonquin mozois. African French adapts localisme tubab from Wolof for foreigner, tubab. African French also has a massive thing over here, reflecting adaptive evolution, global francophonie, usage exceeding 300 million speakers, challenges, controversies, future prospects. Very interesting. This is very interesting. There's something we were learning about yesterday, that what is happening right now with French is a bit weird, un peu bizarre. What is happening with les Français est un peu bizarre parce que ce qui se passe est que French, especially North America, is primarily spoken by people in Quebec. It is amazing, but it's just like this. Like today, I was born speaking Hindi. Hindi is my native language, but if today I don't speak enough Hindi, most of the time if I'm speaking in English, sometimes I'm having issues with Hindi, a little bit of issues, even though Hindi is my native language. And that is very interesting. But today, I still keep in touch because I'm talking to my family once in a week. I'm talking to my buddy every alternate day. So that is very interesting. But you got to make sure. But if you are learning French from zero, like I did, if I learned French from zero and now I'm not using any of the French, then that's a problem. That's a problem, because if you don't use it, you lose it. And that's just like any other muscle. With French, the problem is that the business aspects, the business aspect is so big that if you are a singer, I was talking to someone who was working in a recording studio for local French songs and French culture, or French songs in general, French language songs. And he mentioned that, hey, even the French people in Quebec, most of the time they're listening to English music. There are very few people who listen to the François, les chansons françaises. Donc that is important to understand that. Even like French singers, they will, like Celine Dion is a good example, because she is both native French and even her English is very English. So it's not like a French person trying to speak English. Her English is very English. She has the right English accent. So you can just see like how many, actually that's a good question. That will just tell us that, okay, where's the money at, where's the demand at? Because let's say, how many Celine Dion songs are in English versus French? Let's see. A list of release songs recorded is given as 476. She has sung in multiple languages besides English and French. Her discography includes many French language albums, especially early in her career, and many English language albums, especially international market. I can try digging deeper into FanList discography database or compile a rough breakdown. Yes, please. That's exactly what I want. Let's see. Because this is the exact hypothesis that I have, that even for Celine Dion, who early on her career started as English, but the demand early on started in French, but the demand for English was so massive that forces her to just move to English, because that's where the demand is, that's where the market is pushing her. 476 release songs. Okay. She's also sung in Japanese, German, Lata. Okay, rough estimate. Significant portion are French, and then later many English ones. Her first English album was 990. French language albums throughout her career. Half of the songs are English and half French, half English. 238 each. Caveats. It's just an estimate. Okay. 55% French and 45% English. Okay. Interesting. It says that she just spent most of her time early on with French. Okay. Before she went big. Maintain traditional linguistic purism, emphasizing the preservation of the French language integrity against foreign borrowings, particularly from English, through institutional oversight and legal measures. The Académie Française, established 1635, plays a central role for monitoring language use and recommending native equivalents for intrusive anglicisms, such as proposing courrier for email and réseau for network in technical context. The resistance stems from concerns that unchecked adoption erodes French lexical specificity, with the Académie arguing in 2022 that excessive anglicism risk social division by favoring imported terms over established French expressions. That's very interesting, because that's basically how Hindi operates today. Hindi adopts a lot of English. Like even in Hindi, we just speak like, oh, America. We don't say America. We don't say America. We say America. That is very interesting. Like they're trying to the anglicisme, or peut-être purisme. Il pense soit the purisme. Comment tu dis ça? They care about the purity. Il se soucie de la pureté. Il se soucie de la pureté. Il tient à la pureté. Example, the global influence of French has been perceived as waning since the 20th century, particularly relative to the ascendance of English as the dominant lingua franca in diplomacy, business, science, and digital communication. I think this is again it. Like if most of the discoveries, the newer discoveries, the scientific discoveries are being done, scientific technological discoveries are done in English, the newer words are being formed in English, newer expressions, newer culture are being formed in English, and that's exactly how you lose the competition, you lose your lead. Because why would you speak in French? In French you haven't even developed these words. If you haven't done a research, if you have done a discovery in French, you don't have the words in French. Like quantum computing, every new research that is being done in quantum computing, and all the terms people are coming up with, all these scientists talking in English and coming up with these different words. We don't have those words. Like French cannot catch up to that. So yeah, English becomes the lingua franca. Historical shifts such as 1919 Treaty of Versailles, which for the first time ended English alongside French in international agreements, marking the end of French's monopoly in European diplomacy. Post-World War II, the economic and military hegemony of the United States accelerated this trend, with English becoming the primary language in multilateral forums. United Nations system French usage has notably decreased despite of its official status. Often attribute this to globalization favoring English-dominant media and technology, leading to concerns over diminished soft power. Oui, c'est soft power. Empirical data reinforces these views with French spoken by approximately. I think this is exactly what Canada is trying to do. Canada is trying to get more and more people to learn French so that we maintain that. I think it's very interesting. It takes like pretty much just 9 months to go hard on French. It takes 9 months to go hard on French, but once you do that, you pretty much have a lot of people who can now understand French. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting what Canadian government is doing. Empirical data reinforces this views, with French spoken by approximately 321 million people worldwide as of 2022, ranking 5th globally compared to English's 1.5 vast non-native adoption, while absolute numbers of French speakers have grown modestly due to population increases in sub-Saharan African, where it serves as a second language for over 120 million. The language's prestige has eroded in domains like higher education and international trade. Failing to reverse this trajectory could result in France losing up to 400,000 jobs by 2050, tied to reduced demand for French proficiency in global markets. Wow, French proficiency. If people stop learning French, this means there are a lot of jobs, especially translator jobs, that operate in this domain. That do you know French? And can you talk in French, stuff like that. Okay. Tied to reduced demand for French proficiency in global markets. In Europe, French instruction has declined sharply, with English spoken by 41% of the population versus French's marginal share, reflecting preferences for the language of economic opportunity. Critics of unchecked anglicisation, including members of the Académie Française. I like French now. I think that this is it. Like, it's just like how people say that if whatever job you have, if you have a lawyer job, and that lawyer job, once you become really good at it, if it gives you a lot of things like status, it gives you a kind of status in the society, it gives you a lot of power, it gives you a lot of resources, then you start loving your job. And I think that is exactly what's happening. Like, just the fact that I can say, I like this. It just adds more beauty to your language. Like when I can say purisme, anglicisme, when I can say stuff like that and it sounds good, I like it. It's good aesthetic. And your brain loves it. Your brain loves the nouveauté, novelty. Because not many people can do it. So yeah, factors like the internet's English-centric architecture. Oh, what was this? 400,000 jobs by 2050, try to reduce demand for French proficiency in global markets. By the way, we are using Grokipedia over here, so pretty cool. In Europe, French instruction has declined sharply, with English spoken by 41% of the population versus French's marginal share, reflecting preferences for the language of economic opportunity. Critics of unchecked. By the way, I love this. My little brother, my little cousin, Prashil, he is kind of following the footsteps. He just yesterday signed for Praxis. He's now writing about Anduril. So this is really cool. We are building a lot of interesting updates over here. Nice work by XAI team on Grokipedia. The goal is here to create an open source comprehensive collection of all knowledge, then place copies of that etched in a stable oxide in orbit the moon and the Mars to preserve it for future foundation. Really cool. He's thinking bigger. That okay, we got SpaceX, we got Grokipedia. You see how everything that Elon does, you kind of, by the way, you also got the blood sampling done today, so that was good. You see how Elon Musk is like kind of using all the tools that he has. Everything at the end of the day relates. Like what is SpaceX doing? SpaceX is trying to make sure that we have a backup plan for humanity. So we are building rockets, and then we are building we are also helping, and then we are like, oh, if you're putting things in the space, we can also do it for the internet. Instead of putting a bunch of cables on the ground and like putting it to the ground, we can just like shoot satellites at the top and use them, and they can move around and they can better serve the internet connectivity on Earth. So he's not doing that. And then it's like, okay, or what else can we do? With Wikipedia, the biggest problem right now is that, we don't know if everything is right. So we will use Grok. We'll use Grok to make sure that everything is truth-seeking. We'll make sure that everything is credible, everything is sourced properly. Then we will make pages for everything, and then we will use SpaceX to like launch it in the space and put it on Mars. So everything is kind of being connected right now. So really beautiful. Systemic factors like the internet's English-centric architecture, Hollywood's last line. French instruction has declined sharply, with English spoken by 41% of the population versus French's marginal share, reflecting preference for the language of economic opportunity. economic opportunity, the language of economic opportunity. This is very interesting. The language of economic opportunity. Critics of unchecked anglicisation, including members of the Académie Française, highlight systemic factors like the internet's English-centric architecture and Hollywood's cultural export. I'm just curious, what is this Académie Française, who formed in 1635 and trying to make sure that everybody speaks the right French? Your website, look at your website, bro. What happened to your website? Accueil l'institution, les immortels, la langue française, la dictionnaire, les prix et fondations, action pédagogique, l'actualité. I think this is a problem. This is the problem. You are kind of stuck in the past. You're kind of stuck in the past right now. It's beautiful, but you're kind of stuck in the past. Proclamation du Grand Pays de Roma 2025, Prix et Concours 2026. It is beautiful. You have beautiful architecture, and I think this must be used. L'histoire. Okay. Si la fondation de l'Académie française par Richelieu en 1635 marque une date importante dans l'histoire de la culture française, c'est parce que pour la première fois, les débats de l'Assemblée de lettres ont été considérés comme pouvant jouer un rôle éminent dans le devenir de la société et de la nation. Ainsi, les statuts et règlements visés par le cardinal, puis l'enregistrement au Parlement de Paris en juillet 1637 des lettres patentes signées par Louis c'est quoi? 13 consacrerait le caractère officiel d'une institution parisienne dont le cardinal de Richelieu était nommé le chef et le protecteur, fonction exercée aujourd'hui par le chef de l'État, et dont la mission revêtait un caractère expressément national. Si l'une des plus glorieuses marques de la félicité d'un État était que les sciences et les arts y fleurissent et que les lettres y fusent en honneur aussi bien que les armes, ce serait le rôle de l'Académie de donner à la langue française le moyen d'y parvenir. Les statuts de l'Académie française ont donc cette particularité qu'ils lient l'autorité de la compagnie et de ses membres au magistère intellectuel qu'il leur confère et qui aura à s'exercer sur la langue. La principale fonction de l'Académie sera de travailler avec tous les soins et toute la diligence possible à donner des règles certaines en notre langue et à la rendre pure, éloquente et capable de traiter les arts et les sciences. À cet effet, il sera composé un dictionnaire, un grammaire, un rhétorique et une poétique, et seront édictés pour l'orthographe des règles qui s'imposeront à tous. Dépositaire de la doctrine de Malherbe, composé des gens de lettres, mais aussi de représentants lettres de différentes professions et de divers états. L'Académie avait reçu une mission dont on mesure mieux aujourd'hui la profonde originalité constituée avec sagesse et économie, une langue qui ne fut pas celle de spécialistes, des érudites, ni celle des corporations qui eut didn't work. Which would have la clarté et l'élégance qu'on accorde en latin, ou ne fut pas accentué, which was not. Where was not. Where was not, yeah. Ou ne fut pas accentué l'écart entre langue écrite et langue parlée, qui tint enfin sa force de son double attachement à l'usage et à la norme. Très belle. Who have finally, okay. Tel est le programme qui s'était efforcé de réaliser l'Académie dans la première édition de son dictionnaire sans être tout à fait le premier. Il fut le premier de cette sorte. Ni le dictionnaire de Richelet ni celui de Furetier ne reposait sur les principes qui furent ceux de l'Académie. Le second avait ambition d'être universel. L'Académie ayant fait sienne l'idée qui avait inspiré Wagler dans ses remarques, voulait seulement qu'on reconnût l'usage pour le maître et le souverain des langues vivantes et qu'on admit le partage entre le bon et le mauvais usage. Dès cette première édition, l'Académie voulut que son dictionnaire fût un dictionnaire des mots plutôt qu'un dictionnaire des choses, distinction qu'il ne convient pas de forcer, mais qui signale au moins une tendance et même un choix. Le but du dictionnaire de l'Académie était d'informer sur la nature grammaticale des mots, l'orthographe, la signification et l'exception, le usage syntaxique, le domaine d'emploi, le niveau de langue qui en détermine lui aussi emploi. Lors même que le développement des sciences et des techniques incité l'Académie à introduire dans la 4e édition 1762 des milliers de mots appartenant à des domaines spécialisés. Elle le fit avec pondération, mais elle le fit. She did. Elle le fit parce que plusieurs termes qui n'ont tué autrefois. C'est quoi? Non tué. Wow. Autrefois connu que d'un petit nombre de personnes ont passé dans la langue commune. Ce principe reste le sien. Ce principe. J'aime bien ce mot principe has remained his. L'étymologie fut assurément ce qui guida en partie les premiers académiciens français lorsqu'ils eurent they're using beaucoup de choses. Ils ont se déterminer en matière l'orthographe des débats. Les débats orthographiques n'étaient pas moins vifs au milieu du XVIIe siècle qu'ils ne le furent par la suite. Tout au moins que son attachement à l'orthographe ancienne, l'Académie fut bien éloignée. Bien éloigné, far from away, dans cette première édition de s'abstiner de toute amélioration distinction graphique, élimination des consonnes superflues, quelles que soient les critiques l'ont pu formuler à l'égard de l'orthographe académique de 1694. Celle-ci fut le point de départ d'une évolution que l'Académie décida enregistra ou facilita à partir de 1740 dans les éditions successives de son dictionnaire. 3 siècles après la première édition de son dictionnaire, l'Académie n'a guère varié sur les principes. Si la notion d'usage repose aujourd'hui sur des bases plus larges qu'en 17e siècle, le respect de bon usage s'impose plus que jamais. L'Académie ne tente pas simplement à refléter la langue, ni refléter n'importe quelle langue. Elle entend rappeler qu'il existe une communauté d'humains qui, ayant la langue française son partage, en porte la responsabilité. En cela, l'Académie est fidèle à elle-même. En 1992, l'Académie a fait paraître le premier tome de son dictionnaire en 2000. Le second tome et en 2011 le troisième et en 2024 le quatrième. La diffusion des 4 tomes. C'est quoi tome? 4 volumes. C'est assuré par la librairie Fayard rue du Montparnasse. Si 300 ans après sa présentation au roi, le dictionnaire de l'Académie est resté œuvre vivante. C'est parce qu'il symbolise le lien assez exceptionnel qui unit une nation à sa langue, plus une nation à les langues communes. D'accord. L'Académie s'était réunie d'abord chez tel ou tel de ses membres. Elle fut accueillie en juillet 1639 chez les chanceliers Séguier, puis en 1672 installée au Louvre par Colbert. Elle se transporta en fondant l'ancien collège des 4 nations à la suite du décret du 20 1805 qui attribuait ce palais aux 3 classes de l'Institut de France, c'est-à-dire 12 ans à peine après l'abolition de l'Académie, inspirée par Chamfort. L'Académie elle-même n'était pourtant pas demeurée fermée en lumière, bien au contraire, jusqu'au milieu du XVIIIe siècle, aussi ouverte aux prélats. C'est quoi prélat? Bishops et grands seigneurs comme homme de lettres, élection de Montesquieu et Marbre. L'Académie commençant à montant avec l'élection de Voltaire et de Duclos qui deviennent secrétaires perpétuels, puis celle de d'Alembert en 1754 qui succéda à Duclos dans ses fonctions. En 1760, Voltaire disposait à l'Académie d'une majorité agissante qui reflétait l'opinion d'une grande partie du public lettré et répondait aux aspirations des gens de lettres. L'évolution de la société et celle de la République des lettres permirent à l'Académie du XIXe siècle de s'ouvrir en représentant des genres qui n'y avaient pas encore assez trouvé les places comme le roman et de réunir outre les grands romantiques sacrés et consacrés, Chateaubriand, Lamartine, Hugo, Vigny, Musset, Nodier, homme politique et homme l'église, journaliste, critique et universitaire, dramaturge, poète, historien et savant. Certains échecs, celui de Baudelaire, celui de Zola, ne ternir nullement l'éclat de l'Académie française qui, en cours de la 3e et la 4e République, put rassembler des personnalités aussi diverses que Littré, Renan, Taine, Louis Pasteur, Ferdinand de Lesseps, Leconte de Lille, Ernest Lavis, Hérédia, Anatole France, Émile Faguet, Edmond Rostand, Maurice Barre, Henri Poincaré, Raymond Poincaré, Henri de Régnier, Le Marchulatin, Henri Braxton, Georges Clemenceau, Paul Valéry, François, l'Académie a su d'autre part développer au cours des siècles une mission de mécénat rendue possible par l'administration des dons et legs qui lui ont été consentis et grâce auxquels elle décerne chaque année une soixantaine de prix, parmi lesquels les grands prix de littérature, de roman, de théâtre, de poésie, d'histoire, les prix de l'essai, de la critique, de la nouvelle, du rayonnement français et le grand prix de la francophonie créé à l'initiative du gouvernement canadien et complété par diverses donations dont celle de la Principauté de Monaco et du Royaume du Maroc. Tant pour ce qui concerne la langue. Ok, j'ai une idée. D'accord. Vidéo. C'est bon en fait. Tout pour ce qui concerne la langue et pour son ensemble les liens qui unissent la communauté francophone, l'Académie entendent. Ok, je suis de retour. Comment tu dis? I am back. Je suis de retour. L'Académie entend affirmer un choc circonstance son intérêt et sa présence auprès des institutions francophones pourtant comme l'écrivait Paul Valéry en 1935, quoique pourvu d'une clarté although provided with a charter, d'une clarté qui lui enseigne des devoirs d'observer et de noter les états successifs de la langue et quoiqu'elle ait accepté de juger et de récompenser les œuvres littéraires que l'on soumet à ses concours, l'Académie française ne se réduit pas dans l'opinion universelle à une société qui compose un dictionnaire et qui honore chaque année les mérites qu'elle distingue. distingue. Peut-être le mystère auquel avait recours Paul Valéry pour définir l'être et la pérennité de l'Académie française réside-t-il dans son attitude à transcender toute spécialité dans une visée universelle et à rassembler sous le beau mot de compagnie les manifestations les plus diverses et les plus nobles du génie français. L'élection de Léopold Sédar Senghor à l'Académie française en 1983, puis sa réception l'année suivante en présence du chef de l'État protecteur de l'Académie a marqué une date de très haute importance dans l'histoire de notre compagnie. Avec lui, ce n'était pas seulement l'agrégé de grammaire, l'ancien président de la République du Sénégal, le grand poète partout connu et reconnu, l'homme de dialogue entre les cultures des religions, le chantre du métissage. Chantre du métissage. Chant de métissage et de l'universel qui entrait sous la coupole, c'était l'ensemble de ceux qui ont la langue française en partage, c'était la francophonie tout entière, en révélant ainsi l'Académie française à elle-même. Léopold Sédar a accompli en quelque sorte le destin de notre langue commune dont il est l'un des plus éclatants. Éclatante figure, striking. And it's cool how Grokipedia's logo is very similar to Wikipedia. C'est la même font. It's the same font, just G. Internet's marginalized French in youth education and media consumption. Anti-colonial sentiments have fueled perceptions of French as a vestige of dominance, prompting shifts toward English or local languages in countries like Rwanda, and Mali, despite France's promotional efforts via the Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie. 2025 global survey indicated that only 31% view French mastery as essential abroad, underscoring its perceived utility lag behind English in practical context. Alarming Francophone elites that without robust policy interventions, French risk relegation to a regional rather than universal language. Neologism and loanwords driven by technological cultural shifts. For instance, terms like vapotage, télé-réalité, immersion 2010 to describe new social phenomena enter dictionaries such as La Hurst by 2018. Anglicism, including weekend marketing in smartphone, have integrated into everyday speech despite purist efforts comprising up to the personal vocabulary in media corpora analyzed. Slang innovations like Verlan, syllable reversal technique originated in 1980s Parisian suburbs continue to evolve. Urban speech examples include cuff from cuff, flick, cuff, and muff from fum, muff, flick, lick, kf, cuff, muff. Affecting social dynamics among youth over the past 3 decades, spoken French has shortened forms tel, dropped liaison sounds for efficiency, altering phonetic patterns in formal context. Orthographic reforms such as the 1990 rectification de l'orthographe simplified rules for accents and hyphens to align spelling with pronunciation. Adopted variably in education since 1991 in Francophone Africa, where over 140 million speak French, usage adapts to local substrates, incorporating vocabulary from languages like Wolof, Swahili, for example. Tubab is common in Senegal. Pronunciation shifts as uvular R softening or vowel nasalization variation distinguish African French from European norms, with studies noting 130% lexical diversions in their usage. Quotidien. In Canada, Quebec French features archaic retainments like toque, anglicized terms such as dépanneur, only through bilingual context. 7.6 million Canadians reported French as their mother tongue with dual dialect, preserving rural idioms. Okay, ask Grok. What is this? Oh, it opens Grok. Whoa. Whoa. Cheval. Moi. Tu. Final. Peu. Origins. Confederation of rural French mixing with English in factories. Anglophone bosses. Workers and Anglophone bosses. Elites call it vulgar, corrupted until the quite... Oh, what is this? Add to chat. Think harder. Chiac dialect. It's raw rebellious French badge of Quebec pride. Example in Juval. J'ai eu le show ici. C'était le fun en tabernacle. I saw this show here. It was fucking fun. J'ai eu le show ici. C'était le fun en tabernacle. Tabernacle. Conservative sounds. Toi, moi. Toi, moi. Implication. Tu, t'es, di, t'sais. T'sais, t'sais, di, dire. Vowel shapes. Du, final opener. Words like tabernacle. Consonant. Ici, but. Tapped. Interessant. It's good to learn about the history. You get to know things better. Etc. Adaptations spawning abbreviations like beaucoup. Emoji substituting words in text, reducing average sentence length by 15%. SMS data from 2010 to 2020. Platforms like TikTok introduces hybrid expressions, blending French with English, slang ghosting for abrupt ending, context influencing youth lexicon globally among francophones. Resilience, balancing standardization with contextual flexibility across 100 million native and 80 million second language speakers worldwide as of 2023. Okay, cool. Sample text. Devant des lobes, à l'heure où blanchit la campagne, je partirai. Vois-tu, je sais que tu m'entends. J'irai par la forêt, j'irai par la montagne. Je ne puis demeurer loin de toi plus longtemps. Wow. Standard greetings such as bonjour, au revoir, employed in formal and informal interactions across francophone regions. Merci beaucoup. S'il vous plaît, merci. Merci beaucoup. Reflecting social norms rooted in historical etiquette practices documented in linguistic corpora. Poème demain, des lubes exemplifiés, 9th century literary French. Regional variations appear. J'ai mon voyage conveys j'ai mon voyage. Exhaustion, frustration equivalent to France's j'en ai marre, I'm fed up. Highlighting idiomatic differences preserved through cultural isolation post 1763. These examples illustrate French's adaptability with phonetic and lexical shifts. Sociolinguistic studies. Okay. Interesting. We'll look into this. Demographic. History. Origins, development of Old French, transition to Middle French, standardization in the modern period. Okay. Distribution, promotion efforts, francophone, official status. Okay. Ordinance of Vieux-Côté promulgated by King Francis I mandated the use of French rather than Latin for all legal proceedings. Okay. The advent of the printing press in France with first books produced around 1470 further propelled standardization by disseminating fixed text that reduced orthographic variability across regions. Printers like Robert S. Chain period of intensified standardization for French driven by Republican efforts to foster national unity following the French Revolution. Okay, we're getting into too much history over here. Okay. Oh. All right, let's see. What do we have? Oh, we are done. So let's close this. Twitter, give me 1 more hour. Let's go. Wish me luck. I wish you luck, bro. If you value intelligence above all other human qualities, you're gonna have a bad time. If I were writing the OpenAI film, I would end it on this quote: fade to black. Soft contemplative score, maybe a lone piano or Richter strings, and just let the silence do the talking. The architect of artificial intelligence warning about the cost of worshipping it. The audience leaves thinking intelligence got us here, but it's not what will save us. Netflix, please GM me. The book is the progress bar. My brother, the book is the progress bar. It's the first time I've seen a progress bar on a book, and I kind of love it. Stripe Press really does some amazing work. A second form of scaling has emerged: inference scaling, increasing the compute used to answer each question by tweaking the model to thin, longer. Okay, let's ask ChatGPT. Tell me the 10 most interesting insights from Dwarkesh Patel's new book, The Scaling Era. By the way, it seems like Stripe has changed their logo. Here are the 10 of the most interesting insights from Scaling Era and Oral History by Dwarkesh Patel with editor Gavin Leach. If you like, you can pull out 20, 30 and then group them by theme of your business investment lens. Scaling is a story. One of the core themes is that many of the recent leaps in LLM's AI, driven not by one dramatic algorithmic breakthrough, but by throwing vast amounts of compute and data at architectures at scale. Notably Transformer, but it describes how the blob of compute and wide data distributions underlie the jump. The blob of compute and wide data distributions underlie the jump from 2, 3, 4. Perhaps even more dramatic effects lie ahead. Massively multitask systems. Many previous AI models built for single task span many domains, big reason why they're compelling. Answer advanced math code or car dealership style questions. Boundary between specialist models and generalist models is blurring. New product investment opportunities. Architecture matters, and why it works is still partly mysterious. Although the Transformer architecture and large-scale training work, researchers and interviewees in the book repeatedly ask, why does next token prediction of text lead to such broad capabilities? Next token prediction of text lead to such broad capabilities. We need to see the last 6 years of Fresh. The big thing that's happened is not just algorithms, but the backdrop of compute data inside. Even the leading researchers admit we don't fully understand how scaling architecture produce the emergent capabilities. Inputs, compute, data infrastructure are bottlenecks and levers. The inputs chapter of the book makes clear that access to compute, the right data infrastructure, data centers, hardware are central to AI progress and are major investment strategy levers. Compute, right data infrastructure, central to AI progress. Actually, while we're asking them, we should also ask, what are the most interesting developments from the new OpenAI Microsoft partnership. All right. Are central to AI progress. One big company is on track to lose billions in 24 because running and scaling models is expensive. Safety and alignment are front and center. Includes interviews with safety AI, AGI alignment thinkers like Eliezer Yudkowsky, and explores how misalignment might happen and how we might direct control and why scaling might change the stakes dramatically. We are creating God, interviewee on AI capabilities. The faster the scaling, the more urgent alignment becomes. This has implications for regulation, governance, and business risk. Explosion self-improvement loops are plausible. One of the more provocative ideas covered is that if an AI system becomes competent enough, it might be able to improve itself or lead to an explosive phase of capability growth, sometimes called an intelligence explosion. The book dedicates a chapter, Explosion, to this. We'll see a slow, steady rise or a sharp step change once certain thresholds are crossed. One must consider non-linear risk and opportunities. What if we hit a step change rather than just linear growth models? Timelines matter and they vary widely. Leading thinkers disagree substantially on when certain milestone AGI superintelligence may occur. Some think within a decade, others think many decades. But Yale quotes that the book's knowledge cutoff is November 2024, indicating rapidly shifting ground. For investing in this, uncertainty means scenario planning, build for multiple time horizons, 5 to 10 years, 10 to 30 years, rather than betting exclusively on one. Economic and social impact could be massive. The impact chapter explores how AI might upend industries, labor market, geopolitics, and even macroeconomics. The book asserts that current annualized investments in AI exceeds many traditional science-held domains. The world is investing more than $100 billion a year on AI, more than the combined spending on NASA, NIH, NSF, and all cancer research. Red flag that incumbents may be disrupted quickly, and new platform winners could grow rapidly. Interpretability internals remain weaker than capability growth. A recurring theme: model internals, interpretability, mechanic understanding of how LLMs think is lagging behind how fast they are getting more capable. Humans see so little data and they still do fine. Models see so much data and yet they are missing factors. Of how LLMs think is lagging behind. From a research consulting lens, this suggests opportunity in interpretability policy. Risk assessment also suggests risk of unknown systems misbehaving because internals aren't well understood. Scaling is inevitable and might face diminishing returns, but hasn't yet. While the book strongly emphasizes scaling, it also notes that scaling alone may hit diminishing returns or technical physical limits. Power, data, hardware, but as of the cutoff, many believe we haven't yet hit the ceiling. Will intelligence feed back on itself, and to what extent will it? Test assumptions about more scale, more capability, maybe at some point. The easy scaling stops and the new techniques are needed. Some of the most interesting developments from the newly announced partnership. Okay, restructuring. BBC, named OpenAI Group BBC. Its parent non-profit is now the OpenAI Foundation. Okay. 27% stake. OpenAI Group. Okay. Valuation in the restructure cited around $400 billion. More flexibility raising capital, pursuing partnership scaling without being strictly constrained by its old non-profit legal form. Logitech locks in its role as key partner cloud provider, giving Microsoft deep exposure to whatever advances OpenAI makes. Business entrepreneurial angle, and given your background research, this signals that AI is entering a higher stakes commercial phase, big infrastructure, big bets, long horizons. In terms of infrastructure, IP, long-term access to models, broad rights to product model until at least 2032 or until certain AGI milestones. The previous exclusive infrastructure or first refusal rights that Microsoft held appear relaxed. More freedom to work with other cloud infrastructure partners. Continues to get privileged access to innovations, trending in the enterprise strategy, Azure Copilot productivity apps. Gaining more independence means it can diversify infrastructure, lowering cost and risk, accelerating innovation. Shift from one big exclusivity partnership toward a more open, multi-cloud, multi-partner future in AI. Massive infrastructure cloud commitment. Commitment tied to Azure cloud usage reports say agree to something like 250 billion usage commitment of Azure services. Okay, this makes sense because if you look at Microsoft stock, if OpenAI is going to be raising a lot of money, and if Microsoft has already agreed, if OpenAI is going to be raising a lot of money and Microsoft has agreed, and they are agreeing that OpenAI will spend 250 billion more, this means this is just revenue. This is just like solid revenue for Microsoft. This means the stock will keep going up. So here it is. Here it is, a jump from 532 to 546. Let's go. Let's go. A jump in just 6 months, 394 to 542. Amazing work by Satya Nadella. Oh my god. This is like massive growth. Oh my god, in 5 years. I remember when I was at Microsoft, it was this time, 2019. I think when I was at Microsoft, it was $140 or something. Yeah, exactly. This is it. And this is what Microsoft has grown to. Wow. 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 Microsoft just keeps going up. There's commitment tied to Azure cloud usage, and reports say Microsoft and OpenAI agreed to something like 250 billion usage commitment of Azure services. The scale of compute data centers hardware investment is moving to tens of billions of dollars territory. And this scale requires vast compute power. Cooling data centers infrastructure base is now underway. For investors or businesses, this means large capital barriers, but also large services opportunity. Operational cost, environmental, energy implications, sourcing of hardware, supply chain risk. Focus on public benefit and safety. Large amounts toward health breakthroughs and other public benefit activities. Independent panel validating claims of AG under the new agreement. Government's mission standpoint, not merely commercial scaling, but framing and development is broadly beneficial to humanity. AI innovation and health medicine opening potential research and investment intersections. Increasingly matter regulatory risk, societal expectation, ethical frameworks will shape how these technologies are developed and deployed. Among the largest technology bets ever, the losing of exclusivity, free to engage more broadly could increase competition partnership across the AI ecosystem. AI model access, data center compute, supply chains, enterprise adoption of AI services are now accelerated, meaning rapid changes for companies. I'm just curious to look at Microsoft.com. It pretty much look the same. Okay. They just had new logos. Okay. 365 more glass logos. But this pretty much looks the same. Okay, this is beautiful. Custom controller. Okay. And if we look at Copilot, we value privacy, check out what's new. Accept, quick response, think deeper, study and learn, smart, GPT-5. Search, create image, first draft, improve writing, write a script, design a logo. See it with care. Open sidebar, check out what's new, new models, group chats, better memory, and a face to talk to. Copilot has a new look. A new way to study and learn. Got a home base on Windows. Windows Copilot, connect to other apps. Hand off task to me in Edge. Make your next masterpiece. Make your searches smarter. Find the right care. Add sources to page. New look.
Hey there, I'm Copilot and I'm here to chat with you about anything and everything. Feel free to talk with me like you would a friend, and you can ask whatever comes to mind. And hey, if you want to quick chop my voice or how fast I talk, there are settings for that too. Let's dive in.
How are you?
Hey there, doing great on my end. What's on your mind?
As a companion, I learn about you. And let's explore the world.
I want to hear your big idea.
Looking for answers or a new what do you think? Could we make a good...
You can philosophical, create. I can write stories, brainstorm ideas.
Let's...
I want to hear your big idea. Welcome back, you.
Welcome.
Well, that's a fun echo. Are we just playing around with some sounds today, or is there something else you've got in mind?
What can you do for me?
Well, quite a bit, actually. I can be your sounding board, throw some fresh ideas your way, or just chat about anything under the sun.
Okay, cool. What to watch, giving you interest in investment, enterprise adoption, deepening enterprise integration via Azure and productivity apps, APIs. There's a large addressable market, infrastructure and hardware supply chains, compute grows demand for data centers, chips, cooling specialized hardware will surge, with large capital being directed towards health from OpenAI Foundation. This is an intersection of AI, biotech, medtech, worth exploring. Governance, regulation, public benefit. Regulatory scrutiny will increase. Companies aligned with the responsibility and public benefit may have advantage. Ecosystem, conflict dynamics. Opportunities, adjacent services, middleware for AI, startups and innovation, adjacent spaces. Smaller companies to provide complementary tools. Scaling isn't inevitable and might face diminishing returns, but hasn't yet. While the book strongly emphasizes scaling, many believe we haven't yet hit the ceiling. Will intelligence feed back on itself, and to what extent? What are some interesting insights? From the explosion chapter. Are you okay? Okay, we'll quickly check what's up. And I don't know what is happening. This guy. Okay, this guy Dan keeps. Okay, Dan works at Grok, OpenAI. But this guy keep. Okay, what is this? I got the new iPhone for the first time. I'm not at all excited. No new phone smell, no intrigue at new features. Not at having to transfer data and the pain of having to log into all my 2FA apps. Am I just getting old, or have we met the end of the form factor? Okay. Wow, oh my god. Blueprint. 60 million to make Brian Johnson's longevity protocol available to all. Alright, very interesting. Akshay Beatty, Alex Ramosi, Amanda Cassette. Oh my god, I know her. I know Amanda Cassette. Yes. Columbia. Okay. HuffPost. Yes. Okay. We know. I had a meeting with her. We had a meeting in Austin, I believe. Yes. Blockchain software company. She became CFO. Scale the marketing team. Growth product marketing functions. Serotonin. Yes. President of Mojito NFT commerce platform incubated by Serotonin. Marketing agency, product studio. She serves as CEO, regarded as an early significant marketing leader. Authored a book titled Web3 Marketing Handbook for the Next Internet Evolution. Endgame with Amanda Cassette. Leaders in tech, crypto, AI related domains. Okay. We have Karpati. Okay. R. Emmanuel Balaji. Yes. Bill Lee, Brad Keywell. Who is Brad Keywell? Now I'm just curious, who are all these guys? Who is Brad Keywell? Uptake, Proteum Analytics, co-founded several of the major companies. Groupon, okay. Echo Global, Media Ocean, Lightbank. Top on global entrepreneurship community. He was named as the EY World Entrepreneur of the Year, signed the Giving Pledge. One of the fastest valued startups at reaching billion-dollar scale, thanks to its industrial AI predictive analytics for machine equipment and operations. Interesting. We got Brian Veronica Grazer. I think I know them. Who is Brian Grazer? Prominent American film and television producer. Okay. A Beautiful Mind. Okay. Apollo 1324, Arrested Development, and American Gangster, among others. What? 24. American Gangster, A Beautiful Mind. Academy Award for the Best Picture 2002. Curiosity emphasizes meeting and conversing with people outside his industry, asking big questions. High Impact Ventures, interesting because he shows how creative industry scale, assembling talent, telling big stories, building a brand, imagine, evolving across media. Relevant to leadership, deal making and thinking broadly, all core of your business, media investment board. Cross-industry leverage, any which will mirror your interdisciplinary interests. Build strong partnerships. Focus on story, human connection. Stay curious, cross-pollinate. Outside his field for inspiration, which may align with your multi-disciplinary focus. Leverage brand and media scale with diversity. Very cool. Brian Meehan, Cameron Michael Voss, Carter Ruim. It seems like a bunch of Hollywood people. Dan, Chris Hollid, Dave Morin, Don Wilson, Jay Shetty. Okay. Jason Fried, Generational Family Office. Okay. Dan Talon. Thanks to donation from Jan Talon to Health Impacts Organization. Okay. Fareed Adib, Eric Demet, Emmett Shear, Drew Houston. Okay. Joe Gebbia, Joe Lonsdale, John Carmack, Joshua Kushner. Let's go. Let's go. Kamal Ravikant. Kareem. Kevin Hartz, Kim Kardashian. Let's go. Kyle Vidrick, Logan Paul. Okay. Michael Keeves, Naval Ravikant, Greg Rosenthal, Travis Scher, Neeb, Olaf Carlson V. I think that's early Paris Hilton. Okay. Pipa Lamb. She runs a VC firm. Who is Pipa Lamb? We looked into Pipa Lamb before. Okay. VC based in London. Yes. And focus on intersection technology geopolitics. Partner at Sweet Capital. Makers of King.com. Creators of Candy Crush after their exit. MBA Howard Business School. Fulbright Scholar. Bachelor's at University of Oxford. Okay. Worked at JP Morgan. Lived in Hong Kong for 5 years prior to VC share experience at private equity firm. Catterton, consumer focus, even worked at the UK Foreign Commonwealth's office. State visited China early in a career. Notable seed series A investments in consumer tech, social commerce companies sitting at the nexus of tech, culture, geopolitics. Diversity, thoughtful approach to founder-investor relationships. Finance techs, geopolitics. Interest in clean energy, crypto, and interdisciplinary investing. Non-traditional path, government, banking, private equity, showing how diverse experience can lead into early stage deal making. Mental health awareness, empathy. You said relationships are extremely important. High impact. Some specific quotes, insights. The most important lesson is to listen. We are here to learn from them, not the other way around. There are always thousands of reasons why you won't invest in something, but it's finding that one reason that you're willing to take risk on an outlier. Differentiate thematic focus, alignment with the new founders, strengthen your founder relationships. Invest globally, worth mapping how she sources cross-border deals. Her story is strong content. You could even consider featuring her. People Lam, Paris Hilton. Yes, Barkley. He's just getting everywhere. Okay. Seth Bannon, Shane Copeland, Steve Aoki, Stephen Bartlett, Suna Seth, Tyler Winklevoss, Zaremba. What is this logo? Well, let's go. Let's go. Kate Tolo, co-founder with Brian Johnson. Don't die. Wild marketing whiz. Women are great. Get early access. Join us and get your shit together. Has some issues on mobile. Boner jokes make billion. Congrats, King. It's going to be legendary. Andre Karpathy. This was not on my bingo book. On a generational run. Saquon Barkley. Okay. List all investments by Saquon Barkley. Ramp, Polymarket, Neuralink, Anduril, Anthropic, Crypto Bitcoin. Very cool. Very cool. Oh, let's see. 60 million for Blueprint to bring my longevity protocol to your society has made us unwell metabolically, mentally, spiritually. We are addicted to social media, porn, nicotine, junk food, fast food, smartphones, streaming, energy drinks, and gambling. Okay. Social media, porn, nicotine, junk food, fast food, smartphones, streaming, energy drinks, and gambling, each perfectly engineered to keep us in their grip. Years ago, I was owned by these systems. They wrecked me and my health. I wish there had been someone in my life helping me break free. Blueprint will be that system. Collectively, we will claw our power back. Blueprint will take care of people than they can themselves, better than the healthcare system does, better than our societal norms allow. We will be your home for health. Blueprint will help you feel clear-headed and vibrant. You will become more jacked and beautiful with our presence in your life. You will become more... Yes, this is it. This is it. This is it. This is all you want. You will become more jacked and beautiful with our presence in your life. There's nothing better than feeling your best. Some of the world's most powerful people are backing Blueprint. Talent are pivoting their careers to join our team. Talent are pivoting their careers to join our team. They rightly see that Blueprint is in the right place and the right time for the global emergence of the new macro trend of health, anti-aging, and don't die. Who's investing what Blueprint will be? Who's joining open positions? How to get early access? The next era of human is here. They're backing the next great frontier, human longevity. Defeating death would be humanity's greatest accomplishment. Big things are happening right now in our small corner of the galaxy. We see the consequence of this moment, and we are working to positively influence the future of intelligent existence. We believe that product is philosophy, and companies can influence the world. We believe that product is philosophy, and companies can influence the world. Join if you love to work insanely hard and also get 8 hours of sleep. As CEO is Guy Renwick. He was previously president of Modern Health, and before that an executive at Google Health and Lyft Healthcare. Builds complex health systems into growth engines. Builds complex health systems into growth engines. It's actually very smart that Brian Johnson is like, I will hire someone else to run the company. In this next chapter, I'm doubling down on Blueprint and don't die. I'm all in. He'll run the business. I'll focus on vision, strategy, and birthing Don't Die into the world. Conquering death will be humanity's greatest achievement. Conquering death will be humanity's greatest achievement. Is a practical manifestation of Don't Die. Don't Die is the mission, Blueprint is the product. They are the same thing. I'll continue to juggle many full-time jobs. Rejuvenation athlete. Blueprint vision, leading the Don't Die moral philosophy and ideology, building a global community, and content creation. Ultimately, both Blueprint and Don't I ladder up to the same thing, answering the question, what does humanity do as we give birth to superintelligence? What does humanity do as we give birth to superintelligence? Kate Tolo, co-founder, Jair Gar, and I will be in lockstep building this mission together. Roles we are filling now: Chief Technology Officer, Chief Product Officer, Chief Medical Officer, Chief Marketing Officer, engineers of all types. You all open roles. We're making my protocol accessible to everyone to replicate everything, including the measurements, protocols, therapies, and make it easy and accessible for others to do in a community, for your family and friends to do this show. Many think that the world's most powerful people have their health figured out. The truth is, most everyone is floundering. Luxury concierge services often do little for wealthy people, as the biggest gains are not in expensive therapies but daily habits will help you build life foundations, starting with the basics and graduating to advanced therapies. Our goal is to be more effective in helping you achieve your health goals than any health system or concierge in the world. Blueprint will build around your preferences, your budget, your pre-existing conditions, your prior results, your prescriptions, your level of effort. It's held within context. Wow. I built Blueprint to solve my own problem. My body and mind were broken, and I didn't know who to trust to help me fix it. Everyone disagreed with everyone else. I found sanity in gathering a team of doctors and building a protocol based upon robust measurement and scientific evidence. It's a methodical process that produces better outcomes and results in fewer mistakes and wasted time. My friends and family asked if they could get access to. Then their friends and family asked, and I said yes again. Kept on expanding until we stumbled into Blueprint becoming a company. We will tell you to do less. Good health can be achieved with very little effort. Systems, infrastructure, knowledge, and piecing through the noise that is hard. Blueprint is Brian Johnson's protocol for everyone. Blood draws, food delivery, GLP-1s, RX prescriptions, free protocols, toxin testing, at-home test, skincare, hair care, nutrition and supplementation, advanced therapies. AI Health Companion will make it simple. I like to call this my autonomous self. In the same way you put in an address and digital navigation tells you the best way to get there. Blueprint is a navigation to vibrance. Our goal is to remove the thinking and hassle for you, so that you can focus on building durable life habits and achieve the best health of your life. I love thinking about what the future will say about us. When I think from the perspective of those who exist in the year 2500, I think they'll observe that the 2020s and 2030s was the time when humans figured out that they were the first generation who wouldn't die. Let's do this together. Stay tuned for early access to Brian Johnson's protocol. Free nutty butter with orders. 210 plus. Be the next era of human. Shown by category. Skincare, facial moisturizer, hair care, peptide, serum, peptide serum. What is peptide serum? Look of healthier hair from the scalp up. Peptide supports healthy scalp, promotes appearance of fuller, thicker hair, lightweight, non-greasy formula. Appearance of stronger hair. Ships monthly. Convenient monthly delivery. Easily pause or cancel anytime. Ships every 2 months. Ships every 3 months. Interesting. Bestsellers. recovery and vitality, longevity mix, essential capsules, advanced antioxidants, snake oil, single source, extra virgin olive oil, $58, nutty butter, cocoa powder, 80 levels of flavonols, hair care stack, rooted in science, 3-step skincare protocol. Really cool, really cool. I think the richest people will just go all in on Brian Johnson. This is very interesting. And I'm actually really surprised, like 60 million sounds like not a lot of money when you compare with all the other interesting stuff that is happening. So we don't know exactly what's the plan over here, but let's see. Brian Johnson, we will retweet this one. Very interesting. Having some AI follow you into your Zoom meeting or Google Meet for taking notes is a digital equivalent of showing up to a meeting with your fly down. I disagree. Meeting note takers have cut down hours of how long it takes to keep track of things and having a great history summary. For open flies as well. Doesn't mean it doesn't make you look funny. Oh, this is so cool. This is so cool. This makes so much sense. This makes so much sense. What if you have this one board that transforms into any board game? Oh my god. It's a game changer. Wow. Wow. The first ever face-to-face gaming console that combines the best of board games and video games into one beautiful new platform, available today. Bryn Putnam. Okay. Founder and CEO, New York, NY. State of play.
Your sidekick comes with everything you need. Use it to uncover clues, solve riddles, decode puzzles, and piece together the truth. Travel around the world and crack the codes by yourself or with your most trusted allies. Your mission begins now. Step into the world of Spycraft.
Top secret project. We gave you Spycraft. It's for the board. On brand new gaming device, board.fun. This is very sick. Tabletop sim for the real world was my vision for a board game tech company a friend was building 2 years back. Watching this come together. Very cool. 2023 was the year of chatbot. 2024 was the year of RAG and fine tuning. 2025 has been the year of MCP and tool use, computer environment and file system. Anthropic. Got the chills last night at the 1x Tech event. Never hit order faster in my life. Congratulations. Burnt. And rad backwards. It's a thrill to be with you on this journey. Okay, did it try to do something similar over here? Let's talk about the intersection of tech and culture. Okay. Everything in life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. Substrate. Living the NVIDIA Loca. Stanford Cyber. Okay. It just reminds me that the fate of civilization. Oh my god, this is our boy. This is our boy, Sahil. The fate of civilization hinges on a random Dutch company with a space laser printer. These tariffs, they are trying to murder me. Weighing a new plan to reduce dramatically the US's reliance on semiconductors made overseas, hoping to spur domestic manufacturing and reshape global. Eating the world, but hardware decides who gets to eat. The deeper you go into semiconductor supply chain, the less believable it becomes. TSMC company on a small island produces over 90% of the world's most. Ask Okara. What is that? Private AI for public thinkers. Wow. Private AI for public thinkers. TSMC relies on Dutch. Produces over 90% of the world's most advanced chips. TSMC relies on Dutch company ASML for EUV lithography machines. ASML depends on German company Carl Zeiss, the only firm in the world capable of making mirrors precise enough for ASML's requirements. The light source for ASML's EUV machines is produced by a single company in San Diego. The photoresist used to print transistor patterns are produced by Japanese firms like JSR in Tokyo. The ultra-pure quartz needed to make silicon wafers comes entirely from a single mine in Spruce Pine, North Carolina. Okay. The copper and rare earth minerals inside chips are mined and refined across Chile, Congo, China. The specialized gases used in chip making like neon and fluorine largely comes from Ukraine and Japan. The design blueprints for these chips often come from American companies like Nvidia, AMD, and Apple, which rely on software tools from US firms like Synopsys and Cadence. Whole system collapses. Entire ecosystem inside the country. A project some random person in Nebraska has been thanklessly maintaining since 2003. Let's see, what is Okara AI? Private AI for public thinkers. Your thoughts deserve privacy. Chat and think freely. Never used for training. True detection. No credit card required. What can you do? Interesting. Discover, watch over thousands of AI models and agents. Okay. Swarm agent. Swarm's agent. AI humanizer. Create agent. Okay. Okay, cool. I think we all know what the unlabeled bottom is for. The new OpenAI cap table is you read everything you want to know about the corporate's restructuring. Microsoft, OpenAI non-profit, OpenAI employee vehicle, investors in 2025 fundraise, 2024 fundraise, 4% to shareholders. What is that? What is that 1%? I think we all know what the unlimited bottom one is for. Mr. X. Oh. Are we saying Elon? First investors. Unlabeled bottom one is for. The absolute power to destroy a whole class of visualization like that. AI is cool, I guess. I thought he would be taking his share out of the employee pool. Oh, I don't know. Are people saying Elon or are people saying Sam? 1% of the big guy. Oh, I like this. Yeah, it's cool, I guess. Is that still the AI school, I guess? It is Fujisimo. Okay. Who is the strongest positive pattern match for female CEOs? Who is the Zuck, Elon, Palmer that early career female founders are pattern matched against? Is there one? Lizzie Holmes is the obvious one on the negative side. CEO of Canva. But I personally never felt her cultural impact on how I am assessed. Brian Kimmel. Fujisimo Gwyn Shotwell. My lessons to be learned from Mira Marathi: clear proof of work at iconic company, trust and credibility in the system, unique ability to hire top talent. Brian Kimmel. Zendesk. Fujisimo. One of the greatest opportunities. Jason Kwan. CSO. In AI safety and security is the chance to help support the creation of new industry verticals that help maximize the benefits and minimize the risk. One of the best ways to keep up is with more technology, more research, more startups, more entrepreneurship, and industrial ecosystem of builders, companies, and solutions further democratizes AI to provide broad resilience and ensures the US continues to lead as AI increasingly powers everything around us. As AI and biotech rapidly advance, biodefense is one of those verticals. We couldn't be more excited to back Valtos, Kat McMahon, and their team of ex-Palantir, ex-DeepMind engineers and operators, and world-class computational biologists from the Broad Institute, Arc Institute. Arc Institute, I believe, is in Toronto. No, Palo Alto. Okay. Sweeve. They're pushing the frontier protection and defense in one of the most strategic intersections of multiple world-changing technologies, and with the team to do it. Excited to partner with Founders Fund Lux Capital. Definition Cap. Whoa. 136 followers. Definition, let's go. Okay, it's blur, and slowly it starts getting clean. Oh my god, that is good. That is good. Such a simple thing, but let's go. Let's go. Okay. Oh, I thought feed was eradicated. I'm also curious. Valtos Tech. Okay. Let's see. Valtos.com. Valtos. Next Generation Biodefense. Bloomberg coverage. Join us. Do we have any other information? Introducing Valtos. Okay. Builds next generation biodefense. As AI advances, life itself has become programmable. The world is approaching near universal access to powerful dual-use biotechnologies capable of eliminating disease or creating it. Today, it's faster to weaponize biology than to advance new cures. Leaders in AI have identified this as one of the largest threats of our time. Our future hangs in the balance. In this new era, heroes at the front lines are racing to prevent biological threats that could end humanity. The tools they rely on to detect and mitigate threats can't keep pace with the proliferation of biotechnology, leaving them outmatched. Valtos equips experts in government and life sciences with powerful tools that can, for the first time, update medical countermeasures to match the speed of the threats we face. We envision a future where any threat to human health can be immediately identified and neutralized, whether the origin is external or within our own bodies. We build AI systems to rapidly characterize biological sequences and update medicines in... I'm just curious, everybody who works in health and everything, are they really taking care of their nutrition? Because that is the most basic thing. If you're working in health, if you're working on something like biodefense, do you really care about, are you regularly taking your blood draws? Are you following something like a blueprint protocol? Are you maintaining your protein intake and stuff like that? I'm really curious. Are you going to the gym regularly? Any threat to human health can be immediately identified and neutralized, whether the origin is external or within our own bodies. We build AI systems to rapidly characterize biological sequences and update medicines in real time. This strengthens biodefense today and lays the groundwork for the adaptive precision therapeutics of tomorrow. This strengthens biodefense today and lays the groundwork for the adaptive precision therapeutics of tomorrow. We raised $30 million from the OpenAI Startup Fund, Lux Capital and Founders Fund to scale this infrastructure for government Alex Gavin founders want to scale this infrastructure for government and life sciences stakeholders. Rising to this challenge requires a dedicated team at the intersection of distributed systems, ML method development, and biotechnology. Our founding team comes from Palantir, DeepMind, Broad Institute, Arc Institute. We are hiring exceptional people. '21. Transformative. Park Green developer tooling, healthcare, science, climate, energy infrastructure, education, possibly other verticals where AI can empower or change how things are done. Unusual governance shifted from founder to a general partner structure. Harvey, backed by the fund, 1x, has a round led by the fund. The fund's portfolio data is tracked in databases like VC Sheet. Okay. OpenAI startup fund investing in startups with big ideas about AI. Read latest, learn more. What is this? Startup, OpenAI, startup. And this should be F, fund. Okay, read latest. Transformative AI companies. Whoa. Applications for Converge too. Is it just random? There's no update.
Hi, I'm Sam Alm here at OpenAI. We're a research and deployment company dedicated to making sure that powerful, general-purpose AI is safe and benefits all of humanity. Last year, we made our 175 billion parameter language model, GPT-3, available to developers through an API and private beta. We've been amazed by what people have done with it so far. Developers are using GPT-3 to create realistic dialogue, summarize complex documents, answer customer service questions, and make search better than ever before. And those are just a few of the hundreds of applications in production today. We want to help push the boundaries of what powerful AI models can do and support really ambitious projects aimed at solving complex problems of the highest order. So today, we're delighted to announce the OpenAI Startup Fund, a $100 million fund managed by OpenAI, investing in startups with big ideas about how to use AI to transform the world. We're very happy to have Microsoft as an investor in the fund as well. This is not a typical corporate venture fund. We plan to make big early bets on a relatively small number of companies, probably not more than 10. And we're looking for startups in fields where AI can have the most profound positive impact on healthcare, climate change, and education. We're also excited about markets where AI can drive big leaps in productivity, like personal assistance and semantic search. We're also excited about markets where AI can drive big leaps in productivity, where AI can have the most profound positive impact on healthcare, climate change, and education.
Healthcare, climate change, education.
We're also excited about markets where AI can drive big leaps in productivity, like personal assistance and semantic search. We think that helping people be more productive with new tools is a big deal, and we can imagine brand new interfaces that weren't possible a year ago. These aren't the only applications we'll consider, but they're at the top of our target list. And we're especially excited to hear from startups led by founders from underrepresented groups. We hope to treat fund companies as close partners and work alongside founders here. These aren't the only applications we'll consider, but they're at the top of our target list. And we're especially excited to hear from startups led by founders from underrepresented groups. We hope to treat fund companies as close partners and work alongside founders here. They'll get early access to future OpenAI systems, discounts on Azure, and support from our team. We're really excited about the opportunity for startups, for the industry, and for people everywhere who can put AI to work, improving their lives. So, if you're a developer or an entrepreneur looking to build something transformational with AI, we'd love to hear from you. Applications are being accepted now at openai.com/fund. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the build.
Really cool. Alright, we looked into this. After seeing Karpathy, Nanachana became obsessed with the idea of using GRPO fine-tuning on it locally on Mac. I got it working and open sourcing the whole thing here. Here's Nanachat going through the steps of solving GSM 8K dataset. Known James for over 10 years through the Thiel Fellowship. We both had less interesting first companies proud of than now. Both of us are tackling hard problems important for the US, like domesticating X-ray lithography. Next generation foundry to return America to dominance. Return America to dominance is making production. To achieve this, we will use our technology, a new form of advanced X-ray lithography to power them. Invented semiconductors, we will lead again. Dominance of semiconductor production. Sick. Sick. Wow. And getting these Twitter handles up straight, that is crazy. Let's go. Building America's next generation semiconductor foundry. Watch. Read about our purpose. Let's go. Ernest Lawrence and his team set atop a giant magnet, a small part of the first cyclotron accelerator courtesy of Berkeley National Laboratory. This guy's smoking. Everybody's dressed nice. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. American lithography. 1 billion wafers per year. Oh my god, what is this? One American flag. We stand on the shoulders of American giants who built this industry. Shockley, Moore, Noyce, Grove, Chang, Wang. We want you to join us in making the next century a future of Moore's Law and American One. Failure is not an option, we must try. For years, many have spoken of the need for a new pure-play American foundry. Yet, viewed as an impossible task, history repeatedly shows that American science and engineering solve impossible tasks. As we rush to build more current generation semiconductor fabs in America today, we need to start immediate work on building the semiconductor fabs of tomorrow. The stakes are too high for the United States not to try everything we can to solve both one of the most significant technological gaps and our biggest opportunities to reclaim leadership over the technologies we pioneered. If China surpasses the United States in advanced semiconductor production, it would fundamentally shift global technological and economic power, giving China dominant leverage over critical supply chains that power everything from AI to military equipment. Computer generated. American lithography. The history of advanced lithography is one of the American scientific, ingenuity, and commercial missteps. Companies who create today's semiconductor revolution, decades of incredible engineering that led to the creation of modern miracles. We cannot repeat the same mistakes of the past. As with semiconductors and the eponymous Silicon Valley, the history of particle accelerators is deeply rooted in the San Francisco Bay Area. I want to change. So this is again business reason, but let's change this to San Francisco Bay Area, or just keep it San Francisco. What does the future look like? His invention launched a new field of physics and decades of scientific discovery. The laboratory has established became a cradle of accelerated innovation, producing increasingly powerful machines such as the 184-inch cyclotron that helped drive physics research during World War II. With the founding of Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, 2-mile linear accelerator opened the 66 as the longest in the world. Illuminate the hidden structures of the universe and push the boundaries of fundamental science for many years now. By building on decades of progress, harnessing machine learning can now design and operate these complex systems in high volume manufacturing. Really cool, really cool. Well, that was good to learn from you. Substrate. Okay, today's the day. May our flag and our freedom forever wave. Whole team at Long Journey VC. Early journeys. We are the second believers in the magically weird, and help builders realize their vision for the world. Early Journey, SpaceX, Anduril, Crusoe. The American West needs a Great Lake. Troy Stephens, yes. Good hard quest. There's perhaps no more critical strategic technology lever to pull than figuring out a way to scale and reindustrialize semiconductor fabrication. This is a big challenging quest. I'm so pumped that Founders Fund is partnered with James Proud and team to go after something this important. James Proud. History repeatedly shows that American science and engineering solve impossible tasks. I started Substrate because I believed that this impossible task is one worth trying. Assembling a team who have supported us from day one of your administration. For Howard Lutnick. Howard Lutnick is a good name. That's a very it's a name of a person who helps you with the government stuff. Howard Lutnick. Secretary Lutnick. That's a good name. Took the time to meet with us, a small startup, just days after his confirmation to see how he could support our work. For Secretary Wright, Chris Wright, who spent so much of his time diving into our technology, asking the right technical questions to understand it, and enabling a partnership with the U.S. National Labs. Paul Dauber, Dario Gil, Michael Kratsios. Teams at NSIT. Energy. Whoa, what is energy? U.S. Department of Energy, committed to restoring America's energy dominance. Okay, energy. Science and technological policy. Energy's cool domain name. Oh my god. Elon is just helping everybody with the branding. Okay, we have had another hour of the stream. This is really sick. Let's keep going. News. Okay, we'll have to go from here. If you can do great things, do small things in a great way. Let's keep going. Twitter, 1 hour. We actually had a good Fight Club quote over there. We missed that. Anyways, let's keep going. 2 hour, 2 minutes. The sort of a startup who raised a huge AI funding round, making more money off the interest in their bank account than they spend on their whole entire company burn. A hack for infinite runway, or the fastest way to AI startup profitability, you decide. Entire biotech industry, say, what more? I don't get it. Why don't they make a good product like Midjourney instead? This all sounds great until the game becomes preserving the runway or expanding the market. I once worked for a startup that has similar-ish scenario. In hindsight, not intending to sound like a VC pro, I would have left earlier. Preserving the runway or expanding the market. 3x exits, like robots excited for superintelligence. I'm not a bed hedge, although since VC money is expensive, I'm always a fan of rip it and burn. That's the point of VC, not a pricey pseudo-PE business loan that costs you 1/3 of your company and 10% in interest when your treasury makes 4%. Very interesting. You gotta be really smart when you're operating with VC money. IPO is now the most likely path for OpenAI given the scale of capital the company will need going forward. For-profit business or lengthy legal saga. Lesson here is make money in tech, then do biotech as a hobby. Lesson here is make money in tech, then do biotech as a hobby, and also make a lot of impact value. We're native. Eric, Groupon founder, now founder and CEO of Tempest AI. Martin, Serious Video founder, United Therapeutics founder, CEO. Sujal Patel, co-founder at Isilon Systems. Nautilus, biotechnology, protein analysis, hardware. Naveen Jain, founder of InfoSpace Moonwalk, founded Wyome, personalized health, microbiome analysis. Daphne Kohler, Coursera co-founder, InSitro co-founder. Okay. Bob Dugan, surgical robotics CEO, Computer Motion merged with Intuitive Surgical CEO and Pharma Silix 4 years before $23 billion acquisition. Current co Summit Therapeutics. You can do anything with unlimited money. Easy to raise money, hire the best teams, best labs, best devices, unlimited compute. I take that back. A lot of people with unlimited money have not made a drug that works in animals and definitely on humans, not referring to that list. Dr. Shelby, lesson here. What is this? You can do that. Or you can start a bio company as a broke 24-year-old. Go do the grunt work of building DC models and Excel prepared decks. Here is Claude AI doing all that in minutes. I hope everyone realizes that the OpenAI of the last 3 years was the shackled, handcuffed, hard to raise capital for weird, capped upside OpenAI. Indeed, cannot be emphasized strongly enough. Get a non-profit to 500 billion valuation, ridiculous. Every investor in there went in against the advice of counsel. OpenAI of the last 3 years was the shackled, handcuffed, hard to raise capital for a weird capped upside OpenAI. Very interesting. It's probably the single most important price tag in the world, the Palantir ontology. Oh my goodness.
This is the single fastest enterprise company in the world. Probably the single most important enterprise stack in the world today. Palantir ontology. Anybody from Palantir here? Thanks. I was just talking to Alex earlier. This is Palantir ontology. They take information, they take data, they take human judgment, and they turn it into business insight. We work with Palantir to accelerate everything Palantir does so that we can do...
First time anybody attempted to describe what Palantir does.
Data processing at a much, much larger scale and more speed. Whether it's structured data...
Products and SDKs, automations, analytics, and workflows, data, model system section.
...of the past, and of course we'll have structured data, human reported data, unstructured data, and process that data for our government, for national security, and for enterprises around the world. Process that data at speed of light, and to find insight from it. This is what it's going to look like in the future. Palantir is going to integrate NVIDIA so that we can process at the speed of light and at extraordinary scale. Okay? NVIDIA and Palantir. This is the single fastest enterprise, single most important enterprise stack in the world today. Palantir ontology. Anybody from Palantir here? Thanks. I was just talking to Alex earlier. This is Palantir ontology. They take information.
Jensen finally explain what Palantir does. Just finally explain what Palantir does. Someone finally explain. Finally someone explained. Someone explain what Palantir does. This announcement of the partnership being one of those where you look back at and say, where were you when NVIDIA and Palantir got together? Dominant, yeah. Palantir, NVIDIA. Oh, he's like big on both. Amit. Mom knows best. Okay, so Zach has now the same profile picture as me. So we gotta do something. Okay. By the way, this says that they will remove my blue check. So my blue check is gone now. What does the future look like? San Francisco. Okay, let's see. Let's go lowercase for a while. What has been my favorite color? Pitch deck horoscope. Do we need that? Notion Vision Guy Gal. Extra and cult leader. Roblox Boomer. Short video. Da 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 da. Elma. X Leon. Interesting. Versal is hiring. Interesting. First script was Cesario. Taylor Sheridan is leaving Paramount for NBC Universal in a 5-year, $1 billion deal. He can make films for them next year and TV in 2029. It was a wild ride. He didn't even start writing until 40. He quit acting. He didn't even start writing until 40. Taylor Sheridan. Sons of Anarchy producers lowballed him. After 15 years in Hollywood. After 15 years in Hollywood, he realized he would never be more than a B actor. Writing seemed like the best option because he needed money and his wife had a kid on the way. Maxed out his wife's credit card to buy the Final Draft screenwriting software. Final Draft screenwriting software. I need to look at it. Something new. Okay, so you have the scene. Meet tangled 12, precocious eyes, unruly hair. Gazes out a window of a house in a house surrounded by evergreens. Her merchant uncle, 40, coat, mustache perfectly. Loquacious maps spread across a large table. Only the blacksmith who forged the gold key knows what door it opens. And he's long since passed, but they say a great treasure lies on the other side. Okay. Final draft is up for disruption. Final draft 13 to October 31. The screenwriting software trusted by thousands of storytellers, filmmakers, and haunted house scribes. Sony, BBC, WB, Netflix. The industry standard screenwriting software. Final Draft is the only screenwriting tool you need. 95% of Hollywood productions available in 93 languages, chosen by over 3 million writers, used in all 97 countries. Screenwriting software for over 30 years. Final Draft automatically formats your screenplay. Who's the founder? Turn your 86 by Mark Madnick and Ben Cahan, the creator, to solve a simple but critical problem, making screenwriting easier by automatically formatting scripts according to Hollywood's professional standards. Over time, it became the industry standard for screenwriters. What are the founders up to now? Mark, actively leading. Okay. Final draft. Article of September 2025 identifies him as CEO. Writing community, broader mission beyond just formatting screenplay software. Acquired by Costin Crew 2016. Strong visionary role, he still keeps his eye on how the filmmaking industry is changing and how Final Draft needs to change with it. Engineering developer, half of the original founding team. Moved on. Locate current public role. Let's see. Go deeper on Cahan. This is pretty cool. Computer Science, University of Maryland. Okay. IBM as a programmer, subsequently moved to LA to work for a defense contractor. Film production class at University of Southern California. Shifted into software for film television. Final Draft with Mark. Hollywood lacked a proper word processor to meet script formatting standards. Home-based startup to globally respected brand. Industry standard used by 95% Hollywood productions. Bought out by Madnick. No longer ran day-to-day operations. Talent will. Screenwriters to connect, get feedback, access product industry professionals. Developer CEO. Welcoming aspiring writers to town. I get involved into platform community plays. Okay. Plan your story. Okay. More features than any other software. First script was Sicario. What is Sicario? Emily Blunt, Benicio del Toro, Josh Brolin. Sicario. The border is just another line to cross. Brilliant action thriller, powerful, superbly made, shocking and stunning, one of the best films of the year. Emily Blunt gives an Oscar-worthy performance. Tremendous. Pretty cool. Her screenwriting debut. Okay. Kate Mercer, Alejandro Medgraver. Okay. Principal FBI agent takes part in a raid on what appears to be a cartel safe house near the US-Mexico border, discovers a gruesome scene. take down major Mexican drug cartel. Things are not as straightforward as she first believed. Could have been deeper. Interesting. Absolutely no idea how to write, but knew exactly what not to do. Work with so many bad scripts as an actor. Tell the story I want to tell. Be honest, it should probably work out. Alright, movies, I want to see about things that interest me. I assume I'm not that unique and other people will like them too. Sicario became a hit. Runway to make Hell or High Water. Wind River. Paramount tapped him for Yellowstone and kicked off his massively successful TV run.
So you quit the show to write? I quit the show to write. No, it wasn't that esoteric. I had a very real motivation. I was having a kid, and we were renegotiating my contract on the show, and they were offering me not enough money to pay that rent you're just talking about. And I'm sitting here thinking about raising a baby in this place, crammed into an apartment, which I did until I started selling screenplays. And so I made a decision. I go, how can I look this kid in the eye, in 7 or 8 years and say, you can do anything you want to do, be anything you want to be. Sorry, I'm not going to see a baseball game. I got to win next audition at 5. So I just couldn't. I didn't believe that I was going to be any more than I was as an actor on Sons. And neither did they, which is why they felt comfortable not offering me a lot of money. They're like, well, you're never going to be a star. If that's your goal, you should, this is what you're worth, right? And so then I decided to tell my stories.
So was Sicario your first script?
Yeah.
You sat down with it. So how do you make that step? I mean, just buy a typewriter, or I guess now it's a WordPress.
My wife backed out a credit card to get me a final draft. And so I sat down and opened it up, and I said, I have absolutely no idea how to do this, but I know exactly how not to, because I've worked on so many bad friggin' scripts in my life. I just don't do any of those things. Tell the story I want to tell. Be honest. It should probably work out okay. And so I write movies I want to see, about things that interest me. And I assume I'm not that unique, and that other people will like them too, and so far they have.
So what was interesting? What was the thing that drew you to the story?
Interesting. The pressure of having a kid pushed Sheridan to write Sicario. He also bought the 6666 ranch in Texas for $350 million a few years, and that's why he signed a $200 million deal with Paramount to pay for it. I don't want his career, and loves working under pressure. Extreme productivity. Sheridan's a machine. Sicario, Hell or High Water, Wind River, Sicario, Day of the Soldado. Without remorse, those who wish me dead. TV, writer and director, Yellowstone, Mayor of Kingstown, Tulsa King, Linus Landman. One of my favorite creator stories. I know you have written about her before, but his foresight to leverage a Paramount deal to buy the 4-6 ranch and then lease the land back to Paramount for filming along with the horses and cowboys is just an absolute masterclass. Bucket list moves ever. Also, why Jack Butcher, sickeningly good, sickeningly good. Simple man. If it says it's made by Taylor Sheridan, then I watch it. Some prolific in every genre. His work is amazing, which is kind of impossible to achieve with his background. Did he sell his soul or devil like false? Paramount is just going to buy NBC Universal.
So you quit.
$1 billion deal for them next year. And team in 2029. Latest chapter is a wild ride.
Quit the show to write. I quit the show. Interesting. Wow. So much about just one guy. Top tier shitpost. Thank you. He's leaving a message. Hunter Biden was pardoned just in time before my son Cashew could prosecute him for the crimes. This is a shitpost. Okay, I think this is where Alvarika, if you want to see incredible and impassioned rant on random niche topic, go off 2 minutes on why he hates the Alvarika font. It's amazing. Links and memes. It's scheduled to come out next year because Sheridan's got deadlines and a ranch to pay for. The right amount of pressure
to motivate is about, so continue more pressure, and everyone is different. You obviously don't need to have a kid on the way or buy a 3 million piece of property to produce good work. This is what worked for Sheridan. If Sons of Anarchy had offered just a bit more money, or if 4/6's ranch never came up for sale, we're talking about a very different level of output. What's next? In a very meta development, the upcoming show from Sheridan Cinematic Universe is titled 4/6's and is set at the 4/6's ranch. What is the 4/6's ranch? Oh no, I didn't copy. How do you do new? I couldn't find it. 4/6's ranch. What is this? Stewart Cattle and Horse Ranches in Texas. Look at primarily in King County near Good 3, Texas. Additional Anchorage, Carson. 100 head of cattle carrying this 4/6's brand. Poker hand of 4/6's. Historical sources says the brand came from those early cattle purchases, not a card game. Quarter horses. Texas ranching frontier. Disagrees are highlighted by these quotes. Other controversy involves Sheridan's massive budgets. Paramount is spending $500 million a year on his shows. Some say he's double dealing by picking overpriced vendors, including ones he may have a financial interest in. I'm very blunt with every single person, the production staff, the studio, the network. I said, look, I invented this thing that I wrote down on paper, and I have been entrusted to make it into a story that this network goes and sells. Your job is to try and get me there under budget. I don't know that anyone ever said yay. That TV show that got cancelled after season 1 came in under budget. So if I'm parking 20 million people in front of a television, if I'm beating NFL Sunday night football routinely, I think the fact I wanted 4 cameras and worked late into Friday, I don't think that's a bad trade. My one rule with line producers and production people is you don't get to tell me no. You get to tell me how much yes costs, and then I decide where to pull that money from. It's easy to tell me, Taylor, you cannot have a helicopter for 2 days. That's not the deal. I'm going to get a helicopter for 2 days. I'm going to swap this location to over here, and then I'm going to shoot this here, and I will squeeze this out there, and then it will end up costing the same amount of money. So if you want to call that a god complex, great. I don't really give a shit what a line producer or some physical production person thinks. I care a lot about craft services and set decorators and assistant camera operators and physical production person things. Craft services and set decorators and assistant camera operators and people that are working their asses off for way longer than I work. And I work 16 to 18 hours a day. They are doing it for $35 an hour. I really care what they think. We haven't talked about regarding Sheridan's extreme productivities that there are health implications. On the Joe Rogan podcast earlier this year, Sheridan says he works out a ton and takes daily B12 shots to handle the grind. You will get what they call the movie flu, where you just get run down. I mean, the hours are 16 hours a day and you have deadlines, man. For the sake of Sheridan's health, I hope another top 5 biggest cattle ranch in America doesn't suddenly come on the market. Either way, his approach is obviously extreme. There are many ways to skin the creative cat, and other talented people have found success with a less intense routine. One common verse is Sheridan starts soloing the story tracks with how he needs creative control. I worked with somebody who was involved with season 2 of Yellowstone, and from what they said, it seems like Sheridan is a real control freak when it comes to the writing. When Paramount wanted him to take on a writer's room for the second season and beyond, he kept firing writers they hired because he didn't like what they were producing and would throw it out to rewrite it himself. The second season is the only one when any writers were credited besides him on the teleplay. So imagine he either started screwing the writer's room out of credit following that, or he's a one-man machine of preposterous discipline. One-man machine of preposterous discipline. Massive budgets, spending $500 million a year on his shows. Some say he's double dealing by picking overpriced vendors. Doesn't know the story and characters way better than anyone Paramount could hire. This goes back to his thirst for creative control. He won't give it up, even if doing so would be less work, while his goal is to pay for the 4-6's ranch. When I lived in LA, everything I saw was the same, and I didn't learn anything in my day-to-day life. On the ranch, I got to experience so much. I had 25 iconic pieces of dialogue today. Most of my great lines I heard someone else say. I'm banking story all the time. Have a very simple plot that is driven by the characters as opposed to characters driven by a plot. The antithesis of the way television is normally modeled. I'm really interested in the dirty of the relationships in literally every scene. But when you hire a room that may not be motivated by those same qualities, and a writer always wants to take ownership of something they are writing, and I give this directive and they are not feeling it, then they are going to come up with their own quality. So for me, writer's room, they haven't worked. If you don't grow up in this ranching world, and if you are not a history fanatic, how do you write the prequel? It doesn't. The freedom of the artist to create must be unfettered. If they tell me you are going to have to write a check for $40,000 to 4 people to sit in a room that you never have to meet, then that's between the studio and the guild. But if I have to check in creatively with others for a story I have wholly built in my brain, that would probably be the end of me telling TV stories. I get paid whether they are good or bad, but that's not really winning. I'm one of those people that's incapable of doing something that's not tethered to 100% of my passion. I cannot do okay at a job. Just based on the law of large number, Sheridan has obviously written some dud lines. In fact, the entire impetus for me writing this article was because I posted a viral exchange from Sheridan's new show Landman. The TLDR is that Billy Bob Thornton's oil prospecting character asks his daughter about premarital sex, and the answer is absurd. The clip got 5 million views. People in the comments were saying stuff like Matt Sheridan is going the route of Ryan Murphy and Shonda Rhimes, who just did way too much and the quality dropped. Running out of things to say after researching Sheridan's come up, I'm kind of fine with the deadline here or there. He's telling stories that no one else is telling. The trade-off is fine. More broadly, there is some skepticism whether Sheridan is truly going at it alone. Solo credit, because the assignment credit is how writers get paid extra script fees. He needs creative control. One-man machine of preposterous discipline. Two films have worked on 7 TV shows, including the end of Yellowstone, YOLO on the 4-6 ranches. Absolutely ham. His writing bunker is the latest in a long line of great writing bunkers. Virginia Woolf covered many of her novels over several decades at Monk's house. Rolled up to Bleak House in a peaceful area of Broadstairs. During the summers, there's an M dash over here. During the summers, to pen parts of David Copperfield in Bleak House, Ernest Hemingway cast on rum and worked on The Old Man and the Sea for months at La Finca near Havana, drawing inspiration from the nearby fishing villages. Outward home to crank out classics like Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, in full bunker mode for many months on the island of Jura to write 1984. Fresh cotton hut in Buckinghamshire. Charlie Chocolate Factory. Emily Dickinson. Amherst, Massachusetts Storm Trunk fan. Wrote parts of his article in a Google Doc in the bathroom of his kids' playroom because it was the best place to get free of silence. Article in a Google Doc in the bathroom of his kids' playroom because it was the best place to get for free of silence. Ian Fleming cranked James Bond books at Golden Eye, Jamaica over numerous winters, drawing inspiration the vibrant Caribbean landscape. 1,000 Books to write one of the best works of American history. Is able to crank out a single TV episode in 8 to 10 hours. His producer partner David Glasser says Sheridan writes scripts like You and I Have a Cup of Coffee. Sheridan's solo setup is very atypical for big budget TV shows. Usually there is a writer's room with half a dozen people making six figures to work on a season of content. Sheridan's go-it-alone approach pisses off other creators in the Writers Guild. Sitting on a bunch of Yellowstone prequel ideas that could soak up the fresh Paramount plus money. Says the 4 Success Ranch opportunity changed his mind about expanding his overall deal with Paramount Global. He valued his independence, preferring to be a hired gun, but to buy the ranch he signed a new contract reportedly worth $200 million and wrangled some additional investors to bridge the gap. I was real rich for 45 minutes, then I was broke again. That was the trade. A hypothetical. Your TV shows and your ranch are both hanging off a cliff. Which do you save? I do the shows for the ranch. Time capsules of life in Montana as a microcosm of the world as a whole. They're big spectacles, and the more that you move into the modern era, the bigger that spectacle becomes. I know these are huge bets Paramount makes on me every time I'm asking them to give me Game of Thrones Season 6 money for what is essentially a pilot every year. And that's a big ask. Game of Thrones Season 6 money for what is essentially a pilot every year. And that's a big ask. As long as I do my job well and people don't bore of the genre, I think that will be enough for many more. Extraordinary bursts of Get the Ranch productivity ultimately led to the green light of 6 new series. Sheridan's everywhere right now. The ranch created new pressure and deadlines. Clearly, I need to pay the monthly mortgage on this $350 million property. Motivation is no joke. Also, the absolute kicker, beyond kicker, Sheridan rents the property back to Paramount for filming. Okay. So it seems like he made money, he became rich, and then he's like, Yellowstone catapulted Sheridan in new stars where he never intended to be a media mogul though. Strolling actor, he owned a 1,200-acre ranch and that was his happy place. That was my dream and I already had it. It was a great escape from the fact I was a failing actor living in West Hollywood. The plan was always to become a big movie star, then move back to a ranch and just do movies in Martin Scorsese when I felt like it. But a random sequence of events changed the trajectory of his life and career. He went from the cusp of semi-retirement to buying one of the largest ranches in America for $350 million. Paid for the ranch along with an investment group. LA County is legendary in the region. The property and its horse and cattle operation were long controlled by a single dynastic family. The battle for 150 years to protect their land and keep it largely intact. Which is basically the plot of Yellowstone. In 2019, Sheridan wanted to shoot parts of Yellowstone at 4 Success Ranch and told its 81-year-old owner, Anne Marion, that he would make it the most famous ranch in America. Dad and the family put 4 Success Ranch up for sale. If it was listed on the market, the property would likely have been carved up. Owned that ranch was interested in having a single buyer, so their broker called Chernovsky was interested in buying the entire property. How much? It's $350 million. I'm about $330 short. But please, you thought enough to call me. Will you give me 2 weeks? I said, how much? $350. I'm about $330 short, but please, you thought enough to call me, but they give me 2 weeks. As a reminder, Sheridan had gone from a middling actor at 40 to successful Hollywood screenwriter at 45 to very, very, very successful TV show runner at 50. He could have achieved his life goal of buying a decent-sized ranch and working sporadically on passion projects. To pay for it, another once-in-a-lifetime opportunity fell in his lap. Paramount was launching its streaming service, Paramount Plus. Every streaming service needs dope content. New shows to attract subscribers. So I got a bunch of Yellowstone prequel ideas that would soak up the fresh Paramount Plus money. Deals of lifetime. Finally found critical and commercial success in films. Next project would be his biggest TV shows in recent memory, Yellowstone. Started working on the project 2013. Original vision was for a film pitch as The Godfather in Montana. Passed on the idea with one exec remarking that it felt too middle America. The exec that passed on the show tried to pitch Sheridan a different project, but Sheridan told him to kick rocks. Ultimately, Paramount Network picked up the show in 2017. That was the same year that Wind River, the third film in Sheridan's thematic trilogy, came out, which also marked his official directorial debut. Only agreed to do Yellowstone if given full creative control and a fat budget. Paramount wanted to make a big splash for its first scripted TV series, so it gave him everything he wanted, backed up the Brinks truck. Sheridan was the writer, director, producer, and the showrunner. As a lead in a monster TV show was born. Having grown up in Texas and Wyoming, the show's ranch and rural Montana setting was exactly in Sheridan's wheelhouse. The idea and execution couldn't have come from a team of Howard or University of California trained writers. Coastal Folk was quite flummoxed by the show's success. They didn't get the appeal. It didn't matter. By the fourth season, 2021, Yellowstone was the most viewed TV show in the world because it's middle America. The coastal folks, he's talking about Bay Area, he's talking New York people. They don't really relate with the middle America, but middle America has its own, there's a massive market over there. I really enjoyed the first 3 seasons, but the fourth one lagged and I kind of stopped following the show. Coaster also bounced with the final season, which premiered last month. Catapulted him into a new stratosphere. When he turned down the money, when he needed profile, full creative control, a theme that will come up often, and other studios would give it. Refused to sell Mayor of Kingstown. The studios, he said, wanted to hire a room of more experienced writer to tackle the project. Make the TV the usual way. He knew exactly how to write the show himself. Reluctant to let others adapt his material, demonstrated willingness to walk away. Stubborn, impractical, trusting his instincts, sticking to his creative guns. He put in a drawer. Quit acting to take up a career with maybe better odds of paying the rent to house a new young family. Then ISIS the first real offer because he needs it to be done his way. Not some Syrian Scott Jones. He says he was down to his last $800 in savings before setting the screenplay for Sicario. Directed with Emily Blunt. Signing on to the film came out 2015, made $85 million on a budget of $30. It's a truly incredible flick. Sheridan let up. It took him only 3 weeks to crank out the script for his second film, Hell or High Water. When you start writing a screenplay, you have a general awareness of themes you want to explore. But you have to be quite malleable because the story will start telling itself and you have to ride with it. If I'm really struggling with a scene and writing 3 scenes to justify one story point, I know I'm not listening to the story. There's a story that wants to be told. If you listen, it will tell itself really easily. I wrote Hell or High Water in 3 weeks and they shot the draft with no rewrites, and it is because it's a story I felt very close to. I knew exactly what I wanted to say and the way I wanted to say it. It was a very visceral writing experience. It was very instinctive, not very structured, outline or plan. Newborn is coming. Gotta get a bigger place. Motivation is no joke. Gotta get a bigger place. It's no joke. From acting to writing. He's a machine. Okay. Hollywood career in acting, but he was never married to the idea of being an actor. He wanted to tell stories, and from a young age was led to believe that acting was the best way to achieve this end. 25 to 40, he spun his wheels as an actor before getting a wake-up call. While Sheridan had achieved his highest profile gig on the show of Sons of Anarchy, his contract came up for renewal. Negotiations didn't go well. Lowballed him. Realized there possibly wasn't a future in acting. At the time, they were offering me what I thought was a very unfair wage. It was less than virtually every other person on the show and not enough for me to quit my second job. Business affairs attorney, who I won't name, here's what he told my attorney, who said, "Look, those kids on the Cartoon Network are making more than you are offering this guy." The business affairs attorney for Sons of Anarchy goes, "I know, and you are right that he probably deserves to make more, but we are not going to pay him more because guess what? He's not worth more. That's what he's worth. There's 50 of him. He's 11 on the call sheet. That's what Sheridan is. And that's all he's ever going to be." And that's really when I quit. It wasn't so much over money. It was so much more than how the business saw me. Shonda Rhimes killed off the character played by Patrick Dempsey in Grey's Anatomy after a contract dispute. Specifically, Dempsey's character dies in a fuck you car crash. Sheridan wasn't a major character in Sons of Anarchy, but after the contract dispute, his character was written off the show in a van accident. He didn't have any ill will, though. The field actor realized that he couldn't succeed as the 11th person on the call sheet. His only way to stay in the business was to tell the story from behind the camera. This is interesting. What is the story? Dr. Derek McDreamy, 2-year contract extension. Killed off season 11, episode 21, How to Save a Life. To just leave Meredith Grey or vanish. The character's death was, in her view, the way to preserve the story of Meredith and Derek's relationship. Time to move on. I probably should have moved on a couple of years earlier. Not confirmed. Reported. Tension. Considered problematic. HR issues. Terrorizing the set. PTSD. Allegations. Contract termination decision. Speculative. Oversimplified. Okay, cool, interesting. It's interesting that we can actually, I should have just asked over here. Explain. Rhimes no nonsense leadership. When an actor clashed with her, the character might die dramatically. Schedule and attitude on set. Closing the door on the dispute, much like how she had previously written off other characters after off-screen drama. Okay. When you are acting on a TV show, I'm not getting to tell a story. I was selling ad space at the end of the day. I was moving plot. I wasn't telling a story. Wow, you're selling ad space. The financial pressure of a newborn on the way. I quit Sons of Anarchy to write but it wasn't that esoteric. I had a real motivation. I was having a kid. We were renegotiating my contract on the show, and they were offering me not enough money to pay rent. I'm thinking of raising a baby in a very small apartment, so I made a decision. How can I look my future child in the eye and say, in 7 or 8 years, you can be anything you want to be, but sorry, I can see your baseball game at 5 p.m. because I have an acting audition for some random TV commercial I don't want to do. How he got started. My wife maxed out a credit card to give me the screenwriting software final draft. Sat down, opened it up and said, I have absolutely no idea how to do this, but I know exactly what not to do because I worked on so many bad scripts in my life. Don't do any of those bad things. Tell the story I want to tell. Be honest. It should probably work out. Alright, movies. I want to see about things that interest me. I assume I'm not that unique and other people will like them too. Sicario, Hell or High Water. Wind River. Hell or High Water seems like a Navy SEAL movie. What is it? Oh, it doesn't give photos over here. Why? Why does it not give photos over here? That's weird. Hell or High Water. Chris Pine, Ben Foster. Chris Pine. Oh, Chris Pine. Wait, is it the same guy, Chris Pine? Neo-Western crime drama. What is neo-Western? Divorced father trying to provide for his kids. Reckless ex-con elder brother. Foreclose on the late mother's ranch. Their goal, repay the bank using its own money and secure the land's oil-rich future for Toby's son. Wow, okay. Woolbury, Texas Ranger, nearing retirement, and his partner Alberto Parker pursue the brothers across the dusty plains. Economic despair, modern Western justice, poverty, predatory lending, vanishing American frontier, family and morality, crime as both rebellion and survival, end of an era, represented through the aging lawman, desperate outlaws. He wanted to tell thematic trilogy, modern American frontier. The stories were about how the settlement of frontier lands in America changed those geographies. Modern times sprinkled in the theme of fatherhood for each film, a topic that was understandably on his mind. (2011) and received offers to develop it. Why did he turn down the money when he clearly needed it? Full creative control. Okay, really cool. What have we had? 248. Okay. 248.31, 248.36. Let's go. Manufacturing reviewing today. Great Tesla Optimus engineering. Review today. Imagine having a personal Optimus will be even better. I think this news is coming from after the 1X announcements, because it seems like 1X has been able to ship and promise the shipping of a bot way before Tesla Optimus, so this is crazy. Eli Lilly partnership, Palantir, Hyundai, Samsung, $1 billion investment in Nokia, Uber partnership to build. Where did the Grok logo go? Why is the Grok logo not here, but here? This is weird. Expected revenue, new system connecting quantum computers to its chips, Department of Energy partnership to build 7 new supercomputers. Did we miss anything? Pretty incredible idea. Actually, one of the things I thought, if we have got all these cars that maybe are bored, well, they're sort of, if they are bored, we could actually have a joint distributed inference fleet and say if they are not actively driving, let's just have a joint distributed inference fleet. At some point, if you have got tens of millions of cars in the fleet, or maybe at some point 100 million cars in the fleet, and let's say they had at that point, I don't know, kilowatt inference capability of high performance inference capability, 100 gigawatts of inference distributed with power and cooling taken, with cooling and power conversion taken care of. Pretty significant asset. 1 kilowatt of high performance AI inference capability. Giant data centers. The fleet is the data center. Tesla could turn their entire fleet into a giant distributed inference network spread across the world, powered by the batteries and AI in the car. Already mind blown. It's definitely not polished, not even rendering the EF's logo on the second line, but it's far more substantial and factual. Decent write-up on roll-ups. So pathetic. Doesn't even mention roll-ups, not even once. Bullish. Really cool. Evan.
Flowit OS has all of them, and that's why they keep winning. Hi, I'm Derek from Flowit. Today, we are introducing Flowit OS.
First operating system neatly developed for AI agents.
The smartest OS for AI agents on your desktop. You can now ask your OS agent to post and reply to socials. Cross likes and engage in live streams, complete daily check-in or game chasing packs. Even swipe and flirt to land you the perfect bundle day. In short, everything you normally click, type or drag yourself, Flowit OS does it for you. Earlier this year, Flowit launched the world's first internet agent, Neo. And its launch, Neo has generated over 50 million unique deliverables. But we didn't want to confine this level of intelligence to a single task. So, meet Flowit OS. It's the first true operating system for AI, turning your intentions into autonomous action. Flowit OS has everything a great browser should, plus it's also built for agents to execute. Our agentic flow has dissolved the boundaries once defined by apps and web pages, as agents dynamically orchestrate web-wide resources into on-demand flows. We asked Flowit OS to take over a YouTube account, and you can see how creating, downloading, and posting become one flow. It seamlessly tapped into Flowit's powerful creative ecosystem to generate an ASMR video through Flowit Canvas. Uploaded it, wrote the title and description completely on its own. Flowit OS has a built-in list for preparing tasks like daily channel management, and it beat ChatGPT out of the
Flowit. Welcome back. Why is it welcome back? Yeah, creation space with all your knowledge. So, is it a browser? Absolutely amazing. You got any of that? Flowit. Alright, you guys are going to make me finally try a browser. Resistance is futile. Seriously. Would love to hear what you think about trying an invitation code. Thanks. Yes, dropping. Can you see the cabin? One of the best moments ever. You must believe you're the one. Extropic launch as well. I see the most available, and it has a shot at changing computing. It's Manhattan Project, way of computation, rethinking everything. Don't realize. Extropic AI. Okay, this. Thermodynamic intelligence. I'm meeting at that time. Can you please reschedule? Thanks. Let's go. How did they make hardware so sexy? Extropic. Okay, beautiful. Thermodynamic intelligence. First contact. Extropic AI. I would need to design a computer. Maybe different based on something that's abundant in the world. Otherwise, I would not be surprised for conversion evolution. Maybe computers are integrated in their brains. Interesting. First contact. Thermodynamic intelligence. Okay, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Very good. Let's go. We can't click this, can't click this, can't click this. Nothing. Nothing can be clicked. This is beautiful. We love more beauty. We want more beauty in this world. Tomorrow. Extropic AI. Extropic _ AI. They should work to get Extropic. Who owns Extropic? Extropic. Okay. Wow. Okay, we should read this. Okay, that's a stream. Okay, you got something with ChatGPT Atlas. Whenever you're typing docs, emails, forms, you can suggest quick edits, updates on text. Smart Web Explorer, ChatGPT Atlas. Yeah, this is good. Most autos vote 96 because deep down they know they are not building anything. Differentiated speed is the only edge left when you're making the 57th lovable for Excel. Spot on. It's a major trend, to be fair. Money loves speed. Hardcore working hours could help chances of winning. It's almost becoming the new normal in the startup world. Doesn't scare off nearly as many candidates I talked to as it used to even 12 months ago. That's the only way to create a sense of security or fulfillment if you can figure it out strategically, which is super hard. Sherry Jiang. Google, Amazon, okay. Here he is working with Eli Lilly, Vega Shah, for Life Sciences and Healthcare, NVIDIA, trained a scientist, building global community, okay. Build on okay. The areas will be won or lost on silicon, but for too long we have depended on foreign suppliers for the advanced chips that power our most critical technology. That changes substrate, the new leading edge American foundry. Being around people who expect good things to happen actually rewires your nervous system. Optimism is contagious on a cellular level. Being around people who expect good things to happen actually rewires your nervous system. Optimism is contagious. Yes. Love that. Something with Polymarket. A latest ad with Polymarket created with Midjourney, Nano Banana, Veo 3.1, super happy. How to answer for coming in some of these images. Backed by top institutions, market makers, and EU. GTE, Global Token Exchange. Trade faster and faster. Okay, we have another Polymarket competitor, I guess. All-in-one trading venue. One of the best possible on-chain prices. TGE. Okay, beautiful website. Let's go. Okay, really cool, really cool. My mom and me at the Neo launch event. Let's go. The best day in hyperscaler business was when Amazon announced its operating margins. That's when everybody knew hyperscalers are unbelievable businesses. It's a commodity, but at scale. Nothing is a commodity.
A while ago, it just comes up again and again with public SaaS companies that are maybe a little bit more point solution, and they have to go through a business model transition. And that can be harder than a tech transition. And you hear about, oh, well, if you want to change the business model, maybe you want to be private. But it feels like, is there some sort of advantage of being a hyperscaler, a $4 trillion company, that you can go and retool a piece of the business over here, change the business model, and have almost the privilege of not having shareholders come to you and beat you down about a slight shift in the business model in a subdivision, they don't get that kind of
I mean, that, diversity of business models, diversity of the portfolio that Microsoft has been helpful. I mean, it's kind of, but that said, I don't think you can take that and say somehow you can make it if you don't really make yourself. So I think what happens in tech, unfortunately, is that when these shifts happen, whether you like it or not, you have to first be relevant after having, it doesn't matter what business model. The business model may be like, hey, I had whatever, 90% margins, you are going to at best have 10%, but you have to chunk all in because even that 90 is going to zero. And so given the binary nature, you got to make it to the other side. But then the category economics matters, right? Because if you can't sustain long-term innovation, there's no category economics. I mean, hyperscale is a great one. In fact, the best day in hyperscale business was the day Amazon announced their operating margins. Because that's when everybody knew hyperscale business is an unbelievable business, it's a commodity. But at scale, nothing is a commodity. And so, to me, that is kind of going to be the key. Even SaaS application.
Pretty much why that was so good for you, just because the market recognized that you were in the same business, it was
That
fantastic.
is one. And more importantly, it was much more expensive, right? I mean, think about our server business. Like, it's super profitable. Except, it was 1/10 the size when I look at it compared to Azure. So we sold a few servers. But man, we sell a lot of cloud VMs or containers. Who would have thought how expansive the cloud consumption model is going to be in terms of people being able to sort of, it's kind of a Jevons paradox that sort of really played out in a massive way. And so I think on the business
Well-timed Jevons Paradox post, by the way, back during the DeepSeek moment. It was an important post. Restream, one.
Satya loves Jevons Paradox. Satya loves Jevons Paradox. Guys, I've had enough. This is the final straw. Either go do something on your own or continue with OpenAI as a non-profit. I will no longer fund OpenAI until you have made a firm commitment to stay, or I'm just being a fool who is essentially providing free funding for you to create a startup. Discussions are over. This email is unintentionally hilarious for two reasons given what happened today. First, Elon sounding like a pissed off parent laying down an ultimatum, and second, the fact that they did go off and build one of the most valuable companies on earth, successfully flipping the non-profit into a world-dominating profit engine. In hindsight, it's an absolute poetic sequence of events. No one could have predicted this path from that moment to now. This whole saga is 100x better story than The Social Network. It's way more layered, ego-fueled, and culturally consequential because the general public was never fearful of FB eliminating their jobs one day. There's so much meat here, it's practically begging for a Sorkin screenplay. Drop the non, just profit. It's cleaner. Profit. Just profit. It's cleaner. Just profit. Won't be allowed in popular media until the dust settles because the jury's still out considering the goodness of generative AI. And any studio taking a part on that would probably see strong public rejection, be it pro or against. And movie studios themselves aren't impartial either. Gen AI can append their entire business model to create AI should write it, direct, and produce the movie end to end. We already have the ability to cameo Sam Altman for free. Have they actually turned a profit though? Alright, perfect. Twitter has let us know it's 3 hours